Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream. So today, of course, we still got the Vault event and we shall be grinding at it. However, I think I'm going to try Phoenicia build this time for some amount of time. See how it goes. It is slightly slower as far as gnome rate is concerned, but its overall loot that it gets along the way is a little bit better. As far as exactly where I want to run it, I'm not sure exactly where might be most optimal. I know a few places that don't have any kind of summons or anything too annoying, so I think we'll start with Leona's Empire, see if we can consistently kill here, and if the answer is yes, we'll probably just stick with it, since we won't really necessarily need a change, since I don't think we have enough stats to be able to do it on a higher difficulty. So we'll go and do it on 6 on here, and as long as we can get the kills, we'll just roll with it for a little while, see how it rolls, and maybe switch back to Rowan, maybe switch into something else. So there aren't too many other options other than Rowan quick kill or Phoenicia quick kill as far as quick kills are concerned. But yeah, this thing is slightly slower. However, we do have full mana chance on 2 colors. The 2 colors are, what 2 do we even have it set to right now? Are green and yellow. So green and yellow 5 times, both will give us full mana. Whereas before it was 4 or 5 on green and blue. But this should show still one shot. And hey, we already got a gnome. Volky? Oh, could you imagine? Very first battle, Volky. That would definitely be good. Unfortunately, not the case. But anyways, hello everyone! Hope all of you have been having a wonderful morning so far this weekend. Let's see. Yes, we only got 1 key in 3 hours yesterday. That is correct. We got exceedingly unlucky. We've only found, what, 2 keys total, right? Yeah, 2 keys total. We found 1 in the morning and 1 at night. Hopefully we find more. Obviously we got the 4 pity keys, but those count and don't count. You know, they count in the sense that they're still keys, but they don't count in the sense that they were not actual drops. But which is why we have the 2 numbers divided, of course. So technically we found 6 keys. 2 are real, 4 are the pity keys. But anyways, hello Simpleman, hello Isabel, hello Chris, hello Elite Gaming, hello Defiant, hello Paul, hello Bobs, hello Ricardo, hello Lars, hello Neil, and hello everyone else. Welcome, welcome. Hope all has been well. I'll take that, get our explosion. I just made the thing smaller. I hate that this doesn't have a lock on it. I'm pretty sure, oh, we didn't get a kill. Okay, we need to find a different kingdom. This thing has too much high durability. Wait, do you have spell reduction? Ah, you have spell reduction. Oh no, I forgot that this newer troop made it so you can't do it here anymore. We need to go find a different location. I also need to go fix the dimensions of this thing. Let's see. There we go. Now it's fixed. All has been fixed. Okay. Apparently you can't do Leona's Empire because that one cub that came into the game like a month ago makes it not possible. Zolkari has Revive. Divinian Fields has, I'm pretty sure, spell reduction as well. Does it? Let me try some Divinian Field. Where is Explore 6 here? I'll give it a shot, see what happens. Golvania has pretty high durability though, but it might not have any annoying mechanic. Does Golvania not have a 25% revive? Kind of seems like a place that would, but there's a chance it doesn't because it's more of an undead place than a daemon place. Let's see if Divinian Fields works. Event key, nice. We mostly just need a place that doesn't have spell reduction, revive, or empower. If it doesn't have those 3 mechanics, we'll be good to go, and I don't believe this place that we're currently at has either of the 3. So the only big issue with using Phoenicia, we kind of just saw right there. There are a lot of battles where you cast Leprechaun and you do not get full mana. While we are able to do it at a higher difficulty for more tokens and more gold, it does ever so slightly slow us down, which is a bit bad, but still works. Also, we can't do like a 3 surge like we just did to full mana, because a 3 surge is not full mana for her. Yeah, Divinian Fields I don't believe has any mechanic that will get in our way. Should be fine. There's several places that you can do it in. Like, there's no, like, one place where you have to do it, necessarily. The main mechanics you want to avoid when quick killing Explore are spell reduction, if your cast will not be enough to kill otherwise. Obviously, at lower difficulty, it's not as big a deal, but obviously, if you need to be able to cut it very close to actually killing them, spell reduction, even 25% can make it so you don't kill like it did in Leona's Empire there. But spell reduction, any chance to revive whatsoever, like a 25% revive on death thing, and empower. Those are the 3 mechanics you normally want to avoid. Empower you can kind of work with, but all 3 of them do waste time. Which banner am I using right now? I am using... good question. I actually don't remember. It's something that goes +2/+1 into Phoenicia. I know that. Exact banner, I do not recall. I'll tell you in a second. I'm not even sure if I'm set to the right banner. Let me double check. Yeah, that's correct. We're on a +2 yellow, +1 green, which gives us a +2 yellow, +2 green. Because Leprechaun, of course, is a +1. You found 70 keys and 9 pity keys? Hey, that sounds like what we did last week as far as keys. Last week we went 18-8. This week we've gone very low number out of very low number. But we still got a bit of time to grind. Hopefully we get a bit luckier today than yesterday. Though in all fairness, we can't really get less luck than we did yesterday. For the most part. It is technically possible. We could get 0 keys today. But it is very unlikely that we actually get worse luck than yesterday. However, the team I am doing is ever so slightly slower than what we were using yesterday. Though it might not really matter. Because it is a very small time difference. And many battles will still be the same. Well, we're trying to like this is so we can get some more guaranteed gold and some guaranteed tokens. Still on that token grind, so I figured this way would be a little bit better for tokens. As long as we can still one-shot, it should be okay. Because the reward difference is quite a bit for like a difficulty 6 compared to a difficulty 3 or difficulty 4. The main 2 things that are increased, well, there's technically a few things that are increased. Our higher rarity token rate is increased. The amount of tokens that we get, as well as the rarity of them, get increased. And the amount of gold we get, which is probably the most consistent thing, gets increased. Actually, how much gold are we getting? We're getting like 950 or so for every tier 4. What are we getting right now? It should be 1,300 or something. Yeah, exactly so. 1,239 looks like, so about 1,250 probably averages to. Seems about right. Which means we're getting an additional 300 gold per battle. Or sorry. Yeah, 300 gold. I was right the first time. We're getting about additional 300 gold per battle using this team. Compared to the Rowan team. Even if we lose an ever so slight amount of time, I think that might still be worth it. Yeah, it's set up the same way as the Rowan team, obviously. The big difference is Phoenicia instead. And the banner is obviously changed to be working towards Phoenicia. Also, I'm probably not going to be able to take too many first turn full manas like you can with Rowan. That's another thing that could ever so slightly slow us down. However, that basically means we can just spam Leprechaun every single time. Because the only 2 that will be full mana for us is an extra turn green and an extra turn yellow. All for 5 times. Anything else, like a 4 times, will not be enough. And we already hit our 20 gems for today. Also, I got the slime pet done right before the stream. We still need 2 more copies of it. We unfortunately only got 1. Still need another 2. Though it is a weekend for it, so should be able to find a lot of pets. Hopefully the guild finds another one. They've been pretty consistent at finding one every hour. We haven't even need to really touch Explore. I mean, touch PvP, I mean. And if we were, we can run this exact same team or the Rowan team. I normally actually run the Rowan team just because it concentrates the damage a bit better. So right there, we did actually have a 5 times start, similar to Rowan. It only works on 5 times, but it does come up occasionally. And of course, the gnome drops nothing of value. What's new? Hello, Stardust! Welcome! Yeah, anyone find an epic vault key for the first time this weekend? Curious if anyone has yet. Obviously, we haven't. Hopefully, we will. Honestly, even if we get a low vault key number, I wouldn't mind as much as long as we get an epic vault key by the end of the weekend. That is the goal. That is the goal. So yeah, this thing has one shot every single time, so I'm pretty sure it should be able to. The only thing I believe it doesn't one-shot against is super high durability, like if there's a Fortress Gate or Dwarven Gate or something, which this Kingdom obviously doesn't have a very enough. And it also wouldn't one-shot on Spell Reduction. However, this Kingdom has neither of those 2 mechanics. So she can one-shot all of them. I'm going to be using it immediately for 2 reasons. 1, I think you have to for the achievement. And 2, because I don't think they're actually going to be using Epic Vault Keys for locked content. I highly doubt they're ever going to unlock any content specifically behind an Epic Vault Key. They might make something more likely in an Epic Vault Key compared to a Vault Key. However, I highly doubt anything will be unique only to the Epic Vault Key drop table. Anything that they put in the Epic Vault Key drop table is, I'm pretty sure, like near 100% going to be in a normal Vault Key drop table as well. It might be more common, in the Epic Valky drop table. For example, something like the Enraged Heart might be more common to get within the Epic Valky. However, it wouldn't be exclusive to it, though we don't know that for sure yet. It's not even out yet, let alone in the drop table. Because do keep in mind when the Enraged Heart comes out next week, well, technically it already came out for people who bought the bigger pack, but when Enraged Heart comes out next week, it's not going to immediately be in the Valky drop table. It's going to be at least a couple weeks after the campaign. Exactly when, we don't currently know, but based on what they said before, a couple weeks after campaign is likely to be when it will be accessible in the Valky drop table. And it should be in the Valky drop table, not in the Epic Valky. Of course, it could still be in both, but it shouldn't be just in the Epic Valky. It should be in both. So we're almost going to gain a level here. Pretty nice. Get a little Yasmin in there. If anyone has any questions, anything you want me to go over, let me know. We'll make sure to do so, of course. Can we do anything with all that mess? No, we cannot. So let's go explode everything. Get ourselves a nice big AoE and be good to go. You got the bonuses from the campaign, raised toward level to 160, and have the pets, but trying to do Pure Faction Primal Rift is not related to stats because AI just gets more mana and skulls. The main way that you can end up winning out Primal Rift is actually by summoning in a Treant. So the Older Father has two summons. One is the Golem from the Kingdom or the faction, whereas the other one is a Treant. The main thing that actually makes Primal Rift doable is the Treant itself. It gains armor and attack. So basically the premise is you go and get the Treant summoned as quickly as possible by killing out your first lot. You then go and get your Treant there. Of course, it could be random between if it goes through the Golem or the Treant, but you want to get a Treant there. And then you buff up that Treant every single battle. It'll gain really good value, and you can then just do, once it casts a few times the Treant, you can then just do an Alder Father Skull Convert and do really good damage with the Treant. That is the premise of the Kingdom. So you have to cast like the Treant like 2 to 4 times, maybe more, depends on the situation, and then start Skull spamming with your Alder Father. And that's pretty much the whole premise of the Delve, is buff Treant, spam Alder Father, win. Because Treant is the main thing that makes that place winnable without potions. Hey, we got a Valkyrian from a Jewel Gnome too. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Our number is not as pitiful, though it's still pretty pitiful. But this is the same thing that happened the previous stream, though. We got one key very early, and then we didn't get a key the rest of the stream. Oh, so when will we hand out the code today? I'm not sure how close I am to the 6 pity key. I'd say when we get our 6 pity key, or... I'm not sure. If we can find 3 normal keys, our 6 pity key, or an epic vault key, we will hand out a code. If any of those 3 things happen, we will hand out a redeem code. How about that? We'll do it based on that. Treant keeps getting entangled. You might need to counter the color that gets them entangled. I believe it's green or purple. I actually completely forget which one Alder Father entangles on. But you need to take the mana before their Alder Father gets you, if you're on the final battle. Alternatively, you can double summon Treant, ignore the first one that gets entangled, and then buff the other. Though then again, his entangle's random, so I guess that wouldn't really help much, would it? But no, you'd mostly just have to counter out the color before he takes the color, ideally. Would be the main way. Also, he still gains durability even if he's entangled, so he can still tank it out. He just won't gain the attack gain, of course. How do you get your health, armor, magic, and stats to the hundreds? This is... I really should cover a video on it again, because I haven't done an updated one in a while, and they've been a lot more ways to increase stats. But it's mostly from kingdom bonuses. There are a lot of various ways in this game to gain additional bonuses, and they are very, very numerous. And that's basically what's giving us our really high stats right now. Most of them are long-term goals. Wow! Okay. Wow. I told you, we were saving our luck for tomorrow. We used up all of our luck last Friday, so we had to wait till it wasn't Friday to have luck. That's pretty insane. But as far as stats are concerned, this is what's giving us all of our stats. If we go over to our bonuses right over here, a good majority of them are from kingdoms. This is from 4 different things. This is from, let's see if I can even remember all of them. This is from level 10 kingdoms, level 15 kingdoms, 5-star kingdoms, or sorry. Yeah, 5-star kingdoms, correct. 10-star kingdoms, and 20-star kingdoms, which is only one exists at the moment. But that's where all those stats are coming from. It makes up a good majority of the stats and the main upgrades that you would get. Next is guild bonuses. This is from the tasks. If you complete all the tasks, you'll have half this many stats. Or sorry, if you complete all the normal tasks, you'll have half this many stats. And if you complete all of them, including the epic tasks, you'll have all these stats. The renown bonus is from having really high renown in Underworld. This is something that you don't tend to do until endgame. It gives a very small amount of stats and is one of the least consequential ones of all these factors. However, it does add a little bit more. There's various team synergies with pets that can buff things more. However, that's not too big a deal on most teams. You can equip medals. This can end up giving a wide variety of stats. Currently, we're using it for 12 magic. And currently, the Seal of Curandera is on tier 8. Tier 9 if you bought the bigger pack. And this ends up giving a bunch of various stats as well. However, a good majority of my stat difference compared to yours is almost guaranteed from this very first bonus, which consists of like 4 or 5 different bonuses. This again is level 5 All King, or sorry, this is 5-star All Kingdom, 10-star All Kingdom, 20-star All Kingdom, level 10 All Kingdom, and level 15 All Kingdom. And they are 2 different things. Kingdom level is the star thingy, and Kingdom level is the, gosh, what is even the terms for the two? It's always so confusing. But there's a power level and a kingdom level. The kingdom level is the one that you use gold and deeds for, and this gives it at the intervals of 10 and 15, and theoretically 20. However, it is literally impossible to reach 20 currently. So 10 and 15 is where you get stats from those. And the other one is the power levels. Power levels give it at 10. As well as all the way at 20. Oh, sorry, I've skipped completely over the other one. It gives it at 5, 10, and 20. Theoretically at 30 as well. However, 30 does not exist and will not exist for years. But that's where a good majority of the difference in stats is coming from. Mostly just kingdom upgrades. There's a trickle of them everywhere else as well. Where can you get Life and Death Weapon? Life and Death Weapon is only available during the kingdom in which it comes in on. Sorry. Never mind. That's not where Life and Death is from. Life and Death is from Silver Necropolis. So, I believe it's available in about 8 weeks or so, based on current Delve rotation. I believe it's about the 4th or 5th once the Delve rotation resets. I think it's around there. But yeah, it's about 2 months away if you want to go get it. But yeah, Life and Death is only obtainable for 1 day every several months. So it's kind of rare in that regard. And that one specific day is whenever we have a Silver Necropolis Delve. So that's a while. But yeah, I'll make sure to make a big deal out of it on the Monday video when it does come around. However, I believe it's about 8 weeks from now. Because once it resets all the way back to All Seeing Eye, I believe it's 4 after All Seeing Eye, if I'm not mistaken, as far as where it rolls. But yeah, it's a little bit of a weird weapon since it's only available for 1 single day every several months. It's a little bit of a gap, especially for how good of a weapon it is. It's actually the best delve weapon in the entire game as far as ones you specifically get from a delve. Like, for example, there was one exclusive this Tuesday as well that was only available this Tuesday. However, it's a useless weapon, and a good majority of the ones from delves are useless weapons, but Life and Death is one of those few exceptions. Why Withering Staff? Withering Staff I use just because it's a good cleanup option. The split damage can normally focus if there's only one thing left. Also, if we were doing a game mode, like let's say, for example, Pet Battles, which has things that potentially have a 25% chance to revive. The reason for Withering Staff is not only does the split damage focus onto the single troop that remains, but it also gets to focus skulls onto that troop and can normally clean up a single 25% revive whenever they do occur. And that's the main reason I have Withering Staff. You don't have to use Withering Staff there, but I personally find it to be the best cleanup weapon for when you're doing like pet battles with it. It's definitely not required for this team though, especially for how we're using it right now. We will never really cast it a single time because we're deliberately exploring in a location that has no chance to revive on death, which is the main instance where you end up needing that weapon. But we're completely avoiding it by choosing which Explorer we're doing. So in the context of Explorer, the weapon is completely irrelevant what you use there. However, it's mostly relevant for pet battles. Also, if you do it for like daily dungeons or daily adventure board, it's also useful there if you happen to use it for those options. But in the context we're currently using it on, we can use pretty much any weapon there as long as it doesn't block Phoenicia. Hey, we gained a level. Nice. I'll put it into green. Keep them even. Good to go. Good to go. Let's see. Oh good, another gnome. See if we can keep our Valky luck going. So far, we're pretty good this morning. Already got 2. That is not a key, though, unfortunately. Too bad difficulty level doesn't actually affect gnome rate. It has absolutely no effect on it whatsoever. So that would be kind of convenient if it did. Oh, wait. This place has an Empower? I almost forgot. Astral Spirit. That's curious. We've actually went so long without seeing that Empower, have we? Or maybe I just haven't been noticing it. Yeah, that can be a little annoying. We might need to find a different location then. It's not that big a deal, though. It comes out very infrequently do we have to end up facing it, though. I just caught up on 1.5 times speed. Nice. Yeah, 2 Volkies so far. We're at 4-4. I have no clue how close we are to the next pity key. I think we still got a ways to go. But yeah, we'll hand out a redeem code either in 2 more Volkies, 1 Epic Volkie, or once we hit the 6 pity key. Whichever ones happens first, we'll hand out code on. Which are many options. Many options. 15? No, you don't gain a stat on 15. I don't believe you do. You shouldn't. I think it was just more gold or something. You're talking about Kingdom Stars, right? I didn't see your statement there. But no, you don't get a stat on 15. It's just 1,000 gold. The stats are at 5, 10, 20, and eventually 30. 30 is not existing for like 4 years from now, though. That is way down the line. Like, way down the line. Yeah, I don't think they added a stat there at the 5 mark just because they thought it would be too many stats. Which it probably would be. Kingdoms already make up for such an absurd amount of stats in the game. Level 30 in Silverglade, you wish. That's a magic kingdom. But the highest start kingdom currently is 20. Actually, it just came out a week ago. Or a week and a day ago, 8 days ago. Last Friday, not yesterday, but last week's Friday, was the first 20-star kingdom in the game of Mr. Scales. Which is pretty cool. Good to see that finally reach around. We kind of knew it happened by the end of this year. But wasn't expecting it to be on Mr. Scales, but the mythic came out and then boom. Got our level 20. Weird one to actually be first. However, it was one of the first 15 kingdoms in the game, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Because generally, any of them from the first 15 tend to have the most amount of troops, since they've been out the longest. So they've had the most opportunities to have the most amount of troops. I'm pretty sure, I'm skeptical of ever upgrading Phoenicia. While in the short term, it'll be really good. I just feel concerned that Phoenicia will eventually become dead content. Right now, she's absurdly good for several things. Mostly towards end game. However, I'm kind of skeptical on how well she's going to be going forward, though. Because it's very easy for them to add a single mythic that will completely invalidate her forever. Because her traits are abysmal. If something comes out with a similar ability and just has better traits, she's never going to be used again. Because she basically doesn't have traits. They're that bad, for the most part. Also, I just realized we can actually give her 1 more damage by having our hero be red and putting her in first slot. I don't think that's really needed. But technically that's 2 more damage since it gets doubled. Because I forgot she does have 1 useful trait in his Fire Spirit. Oh gosh, can you stop giving 2 minor trait stones? It's like the 2nd or 3rd gnome in a row that gave us double trait stone. As its drop. That is not a nice drop. So I fixed the camera so it's a little bit more centered. I've noticed the last few days I've kind of been off center. Should be fine now though. Still not sure what's up with the chat above me though. It has worked on one of our streams this week. And then just magically loves to not work. I really don't understand why. I've tried so many tweaks with it and it just does not want to function all the time. At this point, I think I might just need to start a window capture before every single stream and just capture the stream with the window capture. The only problem is I'm not sure of a way of doing it into a dark mode so it actually looks good there. Unless we start using YouTube's new side of streaming. Well, I just need to figure out how to finally make that work and then just capture the window there. I really hate the new side that they ended up doing though. It just looks so weird. But we're going to need to learn it eventually because they're eventually going to make the old version obsolete at some point. The only thing I hate about that is it doesn't auto-capture. So to have to remake the window every single time just to capture it's a little annoying. Because then I need to make sure it's certain dimensions and keep tweaking it, and it'll take like 5 minutes before every single stream just to set it up properly. Whereas the current one, if it would work, it does it automatically. Guess how many keys you needed for the new mythic? You only needed 4 gem keys to get it? Oh, nice. Congrats. That is insanely lucky. Yeah, we probably hit it on a very low number as well. Obviously, the smallest interval I ever open on is 50. However, that does mean we theoretically gained it in less than 50 keys. The exact number we don't really know, since obviously I didn't open them one by one. But, yeah, I normally just do it in bulks of 50. Theoretically, doing them one at a time would be the most efficient way to not waste keys. However, given that it normally takes like an average of 1,000, it would just be a bit too tedious doing that way, especially for a video. So I just open them 50 at a time. Just don't open them 200 at a time, otherwise that wastes way too many of them. But 50 of a time is a nice in between, so you're not spamming 1,000 times, nor are you wasting that many resources if you do end up getting it within the bulk, compared to a 200. So a nice in between number. Unfortunately, there's not a 10 option whenever you have a bulk above 50. Not sure why they remove it. Seems kind of weird. Obviously, because they can only have 3 options there, but still. Still always seems weird. Because you only have a 10 option of opening if you have 50 or less keys. If you have any more than that, it eliminates the 10 open at a time option. How you always want an even number of keys, so you open 4 and got it randomly before you start doing 50s. Nice. Yeah, I'm only paranoid about that when it comes to gold donations. I always have to make sure my gold donation ends with 000, which means that I've never donated a weird amount. Like, you know, whenever you like do all, and it just does like a random number of however much you have left. I hate looking like that. So I always make sure my guild donation number ends in 000. Always has. Yeah, that right there. Like this is, I'm so paranoid if my number would ever look like that. It never has, but I always have to make it so it's 000. Oh, so we've donated a third of a billion gold to the guild. Very nice. Also, if anyone's interested in joining the guild, never mind. We don't have any spots left. I lied. But if any of you are still interested, let me know, because we don't have anyone on the back burner at the moment. Oh, we got 2 more orbs. So we should be done with that tomorrow. Though we do need to go do our battles tonight. But never mind, we got a full guild again. But if anyone's still interested, do let me know. Because we don't really have a waiting list at the moment. I forgot, I actually recruited the last person yesterday on stream. It's always good to have a waiting list for so you don't have to scramble to find new peoples. Okay, I'll get that down. Get a nice foyer down there. Anything in a chest? The answer is barely. But hey, every little bit of progress helps. Until we eventually max out all of the guardians. I mean, all the guardians. All of the commons, rares, and ultra rares. Because every common, rare, and ultra rare in the game is almost enough troops for every kingdom to satisfy every single goal for the gold levelings. If you add epics, it definitely would cover it. Why don't you use a controller? On PC, it ends up lagging more often than not. And add a cumulative lag almost is worse than the amount of speed that it saves. So lately, I haven't actually been running controller with the game. He almost kept spamming global yesterday too, nice. Oh yeah, because yeah, full AoE doesn't really sound like I'm saying AoE necessarily. That was pretty funny. I do remember that. It's a term you used enough in gaming that I kind of just overly assume everyone knows what it means. But, yeah, it is one of those kind of weirder terms if you haven't heard it before. But AoE, or area of effect, in this game basically just means, if Submerge can counter it, it's AoE. That's like the easiest way to know. It's 2 things in this game. Full AoE is whenever you do the equal amount of damage to everything. So any troop like Phoenicia that does the same damage to everyone. And the other AoE option is split damage. This distributes the damage among them, and this is more like a Rowain option. And they're the 2 types of AoE in the game. The easiest way to tell what an AoE is in this game is, does Submerge counter it? If the answer is yes, it's AoE. If not, it's not. That's like the easiest way to tell. Because the whole point of Submerge is to counter AoE attacks. However, there are some that are somewhat like it, but aren't exactly. For example, splash damage, when it does multiple different splashes, like for example Infernus, is not AoE, even though it kind of distributes its damage similar to an effect like that. It does it where it hits a single random enemy and then the adjacents, and this is in an order in which it doesn't actually count as hitting all the enemies, even if you necessarily hit all the enemies, because the way that it distributes the damage in cycles is not all simultaneous, so it doesn't get countered by Submerge. Yeah, Submerge was one of those main mechanics that, while very rarely used, basically made dragons obsolete. Because almost every dragon in the game has AoE effects. And AoE in general is pretty underwhelming in the current state of the game. There are a few instances where you use it, for example, Phoenicia. But in many situations, while it can quick kill stuff here and there, it's very rarely used. Like, Dawnbringer's used occasionally for, like, the Thursday event or for Arena. And Black Manacles can be too for similar things. And obviously Phoenicia for all the quick kills that are above Rowain. Besides from that, the mechanic is almost like unused in the current state of the game, other than those few instances. Killing everything at the same time is pretty useful, but in PvP kind of situations, there's just so much counter to it that you normally kind of get away with such options. It's only used in game modes where you can consistently manipulate if they do or do not have immunity to it. Whereas you can just make it easier to actually land your hits. It would have been amazing with the current Phoenicia quick kill. Why? What upgrade did it have that would have made it worse? Also, we don't really need a weapon on this team. If anything, this team would actually technically be stronger if we moved the hero back and made it any red weapon in the game. Because that would give her 2 more damage. Though we don't really need the 2 damage in the current situation that we're in. Fully upgraded, it gives you a Leaf Storm. But what does it have on it that you would need for this team? Like, it's just a bunch of explosion. If you needed that, you could just go like Mountain Crusher or something. And it doesn't even block any of the mana. Well, then again, blue-purple doesn't block her mana either. $25 Kia Shards. So if you use that weapon and then waited a turn, you still have Red Storm. You get Perpetual Red every turn. So even if the weapon you had Storm on it, you just wouldn't be able to extra turn right into the ability. But if you waited a turn, it would become Red Storm again. But obviously waiting a turn wastes time. Especially if you landed the extra turn. But no, I haven't casted my weapon a single time. There just isn't a need to in this kind of battle. Oh gosh. Well then. That's kind of bad. You actually got a barrier off. That is rather problematic. Maybe we'll try somewhere else. Does Golvania have 0 Empower? Why do I feel like there's an Empower in Golvania? Let me go double check what Golvania has. Someone mentioned it earlier. It has a higher durability than this place, but I think we have enough to still work with it. The bigger concern is what does all the Golvania troops do? Is there any Revive on Death, any Spell Reduction, or any Empower? No. Wait. Oh, no, you have a skull reduction, not spell reduction. No. I don't think it does. Let me just double check. Empower? Oh, if I can spell Empower correctly. Nope, it might be good. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. Because that place has Barrier occasionally, and it has an Empower. And while they show up very, very occasionally, they do waste probably a minute or 2 each hour. So I'll try Golvania. But yeah, most things here have high HP, low armor. The only exception to that, I believe, is that one armored thing, which has high armor, low HP. But every single other troop in this kingdom is the other way around. Where's my last mana? There it is. We'll just go for Explosion. Good Cascade. Come on, gnomes, come out of hiding. I know you're out there. We know you're out there. Also, one nice benefit of doing what we're doing right now, too, we're actually gaining double the amount of trophies. My guild's been a little bit lower on trophies lately. We need to maintain that top 25. We fell behind, and then we caught back up, and now we need to keep it that way. So we show up as a top guild section. We must stay there, as we always have been. Let's see. Let me see. Are we still there? Yep, we're barely there. We need to go make that gap bigger between the people who are under us. Also, we need to start working towards 5 million. One of the last reward that you can get, they can show off to other guilds. You get a 5 million trophies. Currently, only 12 guilds in the entire game have it. But yeah, we need to go get that 5 million. There are other things that you get at higher trophy amounts. However, the last one that anyone else who's not in your guild can see is at 5,000. So it's emblems. You get, I forget what the last one was, but we already got them all. For frames, this is the one I'm referring to. You need 5 million trophies for it. And this is the last visual that other guilds can see. And then patterns. Actually, we don't have the final patterns yet either. We need to do more guild tasks. We're still missing 2 different patterns. I can't just even see what they do. But yeah, they do something. But we're still missing 2 patterns. And the only other thing that keeps going, however other guilds can't see it, only your own guildmates, are the backgrounds. And gosh, they go up to 8 million. Which I think some guilds have already reached. But yeah, I guess some extra backgrounds. Most of these are delve backgrounds. Since they just add whatever new delve backgrounds basically come out and just like, oh, we'll just plop them over here, I guess. The coolest one, I would probably have to say, is the 5,250 one, which is the one in the shop and the upgrading. Actually, there's another really cool one. The other really cool one is 7 million. Probably my favorite background in the game. It's the one that's used for upgrading. Also, when we're doing those lore things and reading for the lore books, we used to do this as well. But yeah, they're pretty cool backgrounds. You very rarely see it in the game because it's in such weird locations. But yeah, that one's at 7 million, which is obviously exceedingly high. How many guilds even have that? That's not what I'm looking for. Only, there's what, 7 million? So only 5 guilds have it. And only 1 guild, Anonymous, has every single thing unlocked that you can have for your guild thingy. Obviously, they're all cosmetic, though, beyond that point. Actually, really everything beyond, like, I think 1 million trophies is cosmetic. But anyways, still got to keep getting them. And now we'll get them at a quicker rate. Oh yeah, I haven't really been paying much attention to anything Steam has been doing for the last few years. I kind of gave up on that after they made their market so much more harder to use. I still got a lot of Dota 2 items I need to sell. I still have hundreds of dollars worth of Dota 2 items I still need to get rid of. Many of which I'm pretty sure are lost in value just because I think every loot box they had has been removed from the game. And I had like several hundreds of loot boxes I think just got completely obliterated with no refund. But I still have a couple skins that are worth like tens of dollars each. I think some of them might almost even be at upwards of 50 or even 100 by now. Let's see. Some of like the limited time ones that they did in the past. I used to trade them all the time. I don't bother anymore. Haven't bothered with Steam for like the last few years between their shop and everything else. Do those expire, by the way? Steam coins? I know that Nintendo coins expire after a year. Do we currently know if Steam coins ever expire? Because I haven't ever used them, and I think it hasn't been out for a year yet. I'm not sure if they have a time threshold, though. Because I haven't used any of them yet. I forget how long they've had that feature. Okay, they don't expire, or at least currently they don't expire. Okay, that's good. I'll throw that down. Yeah, I need to like overhaul my entire Steam profile. It is very dated. I haven't touched it in years. But I used to use like almost every feature Steam had way back when. And then I just kind of stopped. And now it's basically just a game launcher for Gems of War and a few other games. I still need to take that screenshot when we hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours played. We're getting very close. Very, very close. What was that, 6 more hours? Let's see. We are, yeah, 6 more hours away. So close. That'll be a very funny screenshot. Every single time you say I need to. Soon, TM. Oh, that one we definitely need to make sure we do, because obviously, once it passes, you won't be able to see it. Come on, you gave me a Volkey earlier, come on! That's not a Volkey! That is very much not a Volkey. Very, very much not a Volkey. Oh yeah, also, isn't it International Gaming Day or something? Didn't even realize that. National Video Game Day. Well, that's apparently a thing. Have I used Tink's Steam Whistle with Phoenicia? I don't really think we would need to. There's not any way to make this team any quicker. In the sense that we autofill already off of Leprechaun. Like 90% of the time. And there's just no room to put it on this team. Because there's not a single thing on this team we can replace. If you replace Hero, you don't have Perpetual Red Storm. If you replace, well, Phoenicia obviously can't be replaced. The whole team's based around her. If you replace Leprechaun, you can't immediately get full mana. And if you replace Mirage Queen, you can't immediately get full mana. Because it gives half, which goes into Leprechaun's full. So I'm not sure what we could even replace to try to put anything on this team. Because every single thing on this team is being used for something. Oh yeah, he's the red-yellow Perpetual Storm guy. Does red-yellow Storm really help much though? Compared to just having Red Storm? I don't feel like it would really make much of a difference. Because Red Storm gives you higher chance of extra turn compared to red-yellow Storm. Like, it would probably populate overall the board with more mana that she needs. But it would be less effective for landing an extra turn off a Leprechaun cast. Because having the board filled with a bunch of red and yellow would be less effective than just having it all filled with red. Even if the overall amount of red is less than the overall amount of red and yellow, it'd still be more of the same typing, which it gives a higher extra turn chance when casting a Leprechaun. Which is the main thing we need to be aiming for, because she normally has full mana already. So the extra turn as follow-up is the main thing we really want. Yeah, for a second I thought you were talking about that one that ended up creating red based on empower on the enemy. Or I keep saying empower, but I mean full mana on the enemy. But no, the red-yellow storm, I don't know, those storms in general just seem very underwhelming to me personally. Because from what I've seen, they're a lower chance for extra turn. And while they do populate the mana, I believe, a little bit more, if you count relative to both of them, it's not really going to make that big of a difference since you generally already have the full mana in the case of Phoenicia. If you had to cast Phoenicia multiple times, I think that actually might work. But if you only need to cast Phoenicia once, I don't feel like it's worth it. And even in instances where you might need to cast her multiple times, I still like having Withering Staff because, for example, for like a pet battle or something, it works really good as a cleanup option. Whereas the Steam Whistle guy has no damage. He's just simply used for his trait and that's it. You would never actually cast his ability. Yeah, with Sky Hero, it would be really good. I feel like that's the biggest synergy if you're ever going to use the Whistle guy. Use it with Sky Hero. Because Sky Hero is extremely dependent on yellow and red. And he creates yellow and red. It's like the one thing I would say is probably worth using it for. It's one of the best Sky Hero synergies in the game. It technically would also be good for Divinish Ball Aquilin. However, it makes the team rather clunky compared to just using the Moon Rabbit. So for that, I don't think it's necessarily worth it. But for any kind of Sky Hero team, it is definitely worth putting a Tinker guy on it for the Red-Yellow Storm. Since those are the most two dependent colors that Sky Hero depends on. And it makes it much better than it normally would function. It's already a pretty good weapon. It's very rarely used. But gets really good synergy with it. And it was available for the same week as well. It's not currently available anymore, Sky Hero, if you don't have it. It'll be a while before it rotates back again. It's not really like a must-have weapon, but it's a weird utility that you can use on occasion. I personally don't ever use it, though. We both simultaneously have too many and not enough options for a lot of things. And what I mean by that is, like, we have a lot of options for some things, but not that many in the sense that only very few of them are ever actually meta for something. If anyone still has any other questions, anything you want me to go over, let me know. We'll be around for at least another 2 hours. And we'll have the code at either our 6th pity key, an epic vault key, or 2 more vault keys. Whichever one happens first. Which reminds me, we should have our next pity key by now. Do we? I need to go check the other thing. No, we do not. We must be pretty close. I haven't actually been able to check the timer, so I actually have no clue how far we are. This entire stream, we've not been able to check the timer. However, I need to go do this pet, so we'll be able to see it after that. Because we need 20 more copies of this thing, so let's go get it done. So this is the main reason why I use Withering Staff on this team. It makes for really good cleanup in these battles. And we do have Submerge, so we can even clean up on Submerge as well if we have to deal with that. This is probably one of the more annoying ones for this team. Mostly due to the Submerge. Oh wait, this isn't the super Submerge heavy one. Oh yes it is, yeah, never mind. This is a super heavy Submerge one. As long as he doesn't land an extra turn, we should be okay though. For most of these. What's really annoying is when they get on the later battles when they have so much stats. Because then you can't even like properly Withering Staff clean up on it. Because your stats are too high to even get the clean. That's so far 3 down easily. 5 to go. Last 2 are normally the biggest issue because it's out of kill range by that point. Sometimes even the 6th battle is out of kill range. Depends what it is for the cycle of the pet battles. Oh no, he gained Submerge. Withering Staff, do your thing. Only problem is we don't have full mana. Oh wait, never mind. He took a skull, so he lost the Submerge. That's funny. He had Submerge. Not for long though. I'll answer your question in a second. Actually, I can read it now. Let's see. We're not in a race to get this done. I'm like trying to get it done as quickly as possible. Let's see. Question about our ranking in Guild Wars. How does that work? 2 wars ago, you did more points than others in higher rank. But in the last one, you were still soldier. It should go based on whoever is highest score. By the end of the thing, it goes based on who has the highest score for Paragon. And then it just keeps putting one person lower and lower every single time. So maybe they just did their battles all the way at the end after you did and you didn't notice or something. I'm not sure. But it should always be in order of highest score. So whoever had the absolute highest will be Paragon, and the next 2 highest go to the next category. Next 4 highest go to the next category, or 5, whatever it was. I think it's 5. And so on and so forth until it's filled every category. Oh gosh, you got a Devourer. That's problematic, slightly. There we go. Luckily we have triple damage to burning, and he is burned. Another option that we have for cleanup. It's one of the reasons why Withering Staff works so well with it. Because Phoenicia will randomly get a burn, and then you can go and kill it with triple damage skull. Okay, we got full mana before we even need the other thing. Perfect. So we then go for a nice little Leprechaun here. And hopefully get a Phoenicia follow-up, and that should be match. And if not, we have another Leprechaun. And there we go. Give us 5 copies. Go. Well, at least we got 2. It's double than if we were to get 1. And looks like our tribute's ready. Starting to get that gem stack up to, what is that, 20,745. Nice. And all those are the keys. And there we are. I knew we were close to our next key. 4 more gnomes, and then we'll get the next pity key. Let's see, where do we head over to? Let's go head over to, where were we? Golvania. Let's do Golvania. Continue grinding there. Yes, it does count for double damage. That I did check already earlier. But yes, his red-yellow storm does count as red storm. For any troop that has a check to a single color storm, a dual color storm will work as long as obviously one of the 2 colors of the dual storm is towards that color. That is applicable to every troop in the game if it's applicable to the storm. But yes, dual storms do count as single color storms if it has a color requirement. We did check that, and it does count. That is correct. There's not too many instances where that's really applicable, though. At least currently. Maybe as we get more dual storms, it might. Because, of course, we only have 2 dual storms at the moment. Blue, purple, and red, yellow. Which logically would mean our next dual storm will probably end up being brown, brown, purple? No, brown, what color is missing out of that? Brown, green. Actually, brown, green. Oh, gosh. Brown, green would be a very overpowered storm. Ooh, I wonder if that is actually going to become a thing. Because if you count every dual storm that currently exists, those are the 2 colors that don't exist. If they make that the next storm, that's going to be very broken. If the troop is half decent. Because brown, green is used for Mountain Crusher. It's used for Mountain Crusher plus Leprechaun. It's used for Truffle. And it's used for Beatrix. That would be exceedingly strong as long as the troop isn't completely useless. I feel like, oddly enough, it'd probably be used most with brown Mountain Crusher or Leprechaun. Though obviously Truffle would gain a really huge benefit from it too. Oh yeah, Wild Queen would benefit from it a decent amount. I feel like she benefits a little bit more from just a pure green storm though. Just because it increases her chance of extra turning. A bit more than a green-brown would. Though it would make the Apothecary version of her better. Like the few variants of her that use Apothecary in the team. Because those teams are a lot more green-brown focused. Like Mountain Crusher, Apothecary, Wild Queen, one other thing. Normally Mirage Queen. Of course, there can be other options. It's always kind of funny because Mirage Queen is such an insanely good synergy troop for Wild Queen. But unfortunately, you can't use it on any Guild War day. since they all have no color conflict. But that's one of the reasons why it's so good to normally together, is because they don't have color conflict with each other, while both synergizing really well. Whereas Wild Queen does an attack buff into Green Skull, and not only does the Mirage Queen give a half mana start, but then it gets to convert all those greens into skulls, which normally have alignments because all she keeps creating is green and skulls, which means those skulls will be next to those greens, and then you just convert them into a gigantic burst. Unfortunately, that is not usable ever in Guild Wars, but outside of Guild Wars, it's a pretty nice combination. It's mostly only good for PvP though, like you can't really upscale it that well to like high-level delves and stuff like that, but it's a pretty fun PvP team if nothing else. You could theoretically try running on Explore 12, I guess. I feel like it'd be slow, though, compared to other options. That's why you never really see me doing it. At that point, I'd probably just build a what's-his-name team? A Lord of Slaughter team by that point. I feel like would work a bit better. Oh, what do we need here? Oh, 5 times red. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I forgot. That's the only color that we don't get full mana on, is 5 times red. And the reason I did it that way was so we could keep red on the board, so I wouldn't be tempted to, like, take the red when we needed to, because obviously that reduces down her damage. That's why that's the whole reason why I have it on green, yellow. Obviously, we could set it to pretty much any 2 colors as long as one of them is green. Like, we could set it to +2 red, +2 green, or to +2 yellow, +2 green. But I went down the +2 yellow, +2 green route so we wouldn't eliminate more reds than we needed to, since she uses it for damage. However, that also means a 5 times red will not be full mana, because I believe we only have +1 into red, and there's no way to give it +2. The only way that would be possible if she had red link on herself, which obviously she does not, and never will. Unless they really wanted to buff her out of nowhere, even though she's already good. Well, that would be nice. That's the only way she could get even better. Well, that and have a better final trait. But change out Fireproof for red link would actually be very, very strong on her. Very few mythics have a link. There's technically only 2. One of them is Queen Aurora, which technically has 6. Has 1 to every color. And the other one is, I actually forget. It was one that happened pretty recently that has a link attached to it. I think it was relatively useless. I can't remember now. But those are the only 2. Gosh, I can't remember its name now. Very rarely do mythics ever get a link, even though they're the type of troops that almost need it the most, despite the fact that they barely have it at all. Gosh, what mythic was it? I completely forgot its name now. Here's an easy way to check for it. Go to troops, go to order by rarity, base rarity, and type in a link. Mythics. I know there's one that exists. Where are you? Hold up. I know there was one other than Queen Aurora. Where is it? Oh, I think it was Karandera itself. That's why I don't know which troop it is, because it doesn't exist yet. I knew there was another one, but it's Karandera. Karandera actually has a rather unique aspect in that he's the only mythic in the entire game, not counting Queen Aurora since it has his unique trait. But it's the only mythic in the game that has a proper link on it. The only one, and doesn't even exist yet. I knew there was one, but yeah, it was Karandera. That's why I forgot which one it was, because it doesn't technically exist yet. We still got 2 weeks, or 1 week if you bought the bigger pass. We got a really bad board. Hey! Oh, you can give me all the bad boards you want if that's what you're going to give me for it. Nice. 5th Volkey. 1 more Volkey, we'll hand out a code. Or if we hit 6 pity keys, which I believe we're almost at 5. Though at this point, I think randomly getting a Volkey is probably going to be the quicker option. We'll see what happens. So we made up for yesterday's luck. We already got 3 Volkeys so far. And within an hour. So that's a pretty good rate. We got 3 within 1 hour, and last time it took us 3 hours to get 1. The exact inverse. If we can keep up this rate, we would get 9 vault keys in the time it took us to get 1 yesterday. It's one of the things I like about pity keys. They're very consistent. Though you can still get unlucky with finding gnome numbers, but there's still some consistency to how many gnomes you find, even if it's a little bit under or over. Oh, I keep taking that thing and that's full mana every single time. Let's see. I already answered that one. I'm just reading through the chat thingies. But yeah, I personally find using Hero to be a little bit better than using the Red-Yellow Storm. I just like having a cleanup option. And Red Storm has a higher chance of extra turning. A single Storm will always have a better extra turn chance than double, because the board is more concentrated with that single color. Whereas when you have 2 colors conflicting, it's less likely they would specifically be aligned with each other for a extra turn 4 times, 5 times. They both still increase your chance of getting extra turn, but pure color Storm has higher chance to extra turn than dual Storms when clearing the entire board. But both of them do increase your chance. Just a single color does it more. However, oddly enough, a dual color Storm would actually give you a higher chance of getting multiple extra turns. But a pure color Storm would give you a better chance of landing a single extra turn. Which with a team like this, obviously just a single extra turn is all we need. But with a dual Storm, it still increases your chance. However, it's a lot more likely that you would chain into like 2 or 3 extra turns. Whereas a pure color Storm, while it can chain into similarly, it's more likely just to hit the 1 Storm. And not necessarily get multiple. Obviously, we only need 1 cast. That's all we're looking for. Okay, I'm not going to take the red this time. I'm not falling for it. The amount of times I've taken 5 times reds thinking it would be full mana is exceedingly high. That's very unfortunate. Oh, how's he not dead? There we go. Well, from what I've seen from Dual Storm, unless people have actually data mined it, but from what I've seen from Dual Storm, it takes the amount of chances that you have and splits it between the 2 colors. We can try it for a little bit. We'll switch to it after this. Though I need to get used to everything being shifted by one. Actually, I can still use the leprechaun where I want it. Oh no, we'll keep it like that, I guess. I just gotta get used to it being one spot off. Where's the troop I'm looking for? There we go. I thought he used red. Never mind. He does not give us a 2 extra damage. Not like we need it. I'll try it with red yellow. Also, given that we're using red yellow now, we might want to set our banner to +2. Oh wait, never mind. That's impossible. No, it's not. Oh yes, it is, because we don't have hero anymore. Never mind. I was gonna say to set it into +2 for both, but you wouldn't be able to do that because we lost our link off a hero now. The only 2 +2s we could do is yellow green or red green. One of them has to be green because we don't have a red link anymore. So far seems to be hitting about the same amount. That way to just start using it. Let's see, throw that down. Come on. Oh good, another gnome. Exactly what we want to see. But I'm not seeing much of a difference in rate. Seems about the same way. Currently hitting about half our battles for extra turn. But yeah, it does seem to actually be creating a little bit more than just if it was all concentrated into one storm. They're both less effective than a single color one, but it does still seem to be making more overall between the 2 colors. But in theory, that would always happen in the sense that if you're focusing on 2 colors, obviously it's going to create more than if you're focusing just on 1 color in that regard, since you're focusing on 2 different ones. And obviously, for example, yellows can naturally still happen even when you have reds, a red storm. So when focusing on 2 colors, it might just kind of seem like that, because obviously some amount of yellow is naturally falling too. And is obviously just increasing that amount of yellow now. But I'm still not seeing much of a difference, though. It might be ever so slightly higher, but it seems about the same from what I can tell. And if it is slightly higher, it'd only be relevant for Explore. For pet battles, it'd still be more relevant to use a cleanup option. Because we can't actually cast the thing that has red yellow storm on it. He's just there for the storm and nothing else. Because whenever we use like a withering staff or something, leprechaun normally fills with the full with a single cast. So you have both of them to cast immediately. Well, we'll try it for a little while. See how it goes. Hard to tell from just a short duration. Might even just try it this way for the rest of the day. Because I've tried the Phoenicia way, the other way, like a lot. Like we have tens of hours in the other method. Maybe even hundreds. Which reminds me, did we finally reach over that threshold? Nope, we still need 1 more hour. We almost have 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Definitely would need a screenshot it when this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably one of the funnier screenshots we'll have as far as numbers that can happen for it. My only concern with a dual storm like this is if we miss Leprechaun Explode, they can actually turn off of twice as many gnomes now. Before we just had to worry about the normal gnome, but now we have to worry about normal gnome and jewel gnome. And if this was a different game mode, you'd also have to deal with Valraven, but I don't think that would really come up much. Because regardless of Storm, you'd always have to deal with red, potentially getting it 5 times. But now we have to deal with red and yellow. It's very rare that it happens, but we have seen it before. Oh, we got one of his rarest drops. 3 Celestial. I don't need it, but that is actually amongst one of his rarest drops. It's about under the same category as him giving 50,000 gold, which we also got yesterday, as well as his 20 gem drop, which is also pretty rare. But he gets 5 pretty commonly, whereas 21 is very rare. I think those are his 3 rarest drops. It's 4 gem keys, 3 event keys. Those are a bit more common. But his absolute rarest, I believe, are 3 Celestials, 50,000 gold, and 20 gems. Not counting Vault keys, of course. Obviously, Vault key is the rarest one on all of them. And double miner. He really just wants to give us traits done, doesn't he? 3 Celestials into a double miner. We've been seeing a lot of double miner today. We have to keep in mind, this game's been out for almost 6 years, and we've been playing that entire time. But yeah, we've basically been playing this game for 1.5 years straight, as far as accumulative time. Yeah, we've been playing since it launched 6 years ago. Well, in 2 months from now, it'll be 6 years. And the game's still going strong. So many battles. So few Nooms. No, we've been doing okay on Nooms today for sure. Can't really complain about 3 Volkies in an hour. Those current hour we haven't been doing as well. Maybe the dwarf scared them all away. Oh, there we go. We keep getting normal gnomes as well. Like getting no color but normals. Come on, Epic Volky. Oh, that's some gold. Oh, we should have our 5th pity key by now. Let me actually go update the number. I know for sure we have it. I'll go double check though. After. So basically now if we get another Vault Key by any means, we'll hand out a code. Doesn't matter if it's from a drop or from pity or if it's an Epic Vault Key. We shall hand out a code. Do you want to drop the drop? You know you want to drop the drop. That is not the drop we're looking for. Let's just double check. 5, yep. How much more do we have to the next pity? Got 21 more. And then we'll get our 6th key. Do I have enough Nisha to medal Phoenicia? No. We have 2 spare Nishas. And that's it. Only 2. Which means we could use 3 Anus, potentially. Use 3 Anus, then a double Nisha. And that would bring us to 2 silver. However, half of its effect is on gold. Which it's actually kind of funny. Every Nisha that you use on Phoenicia gives her 1 magic. Because she actually requires 6 of them. And she'll actually gain 1 magic each time. It's one of the few instances where the metal that you actually use on something gives the stat. That's in a way. Yeah, I asked that earlier. No one said they did. An Epic Vault Key. Or at least during the event anyways, I mean. That's super lucky if you get it outside the event, gosh. I'm almost guaranteed they're going to add it on next Battle Pass. If nothing else, to entice people to go get it. There's got to be so many things on next Battle Pass, it's almost going to force people to get it. I'm pretty sure they're just going to buff it to absurd pay-to-winness. Based on things we kind of already know they're likely to do with it. You actually got it within your Vault Key. That's kind of funny. Yeah, it is. While it's very unlikely, it is technically possible to get an Epic Vault Key inside your Vault Key. It's also possible to get a Vault Key or an Epic Vault Key inside your Epic Vault Key. They're both very rare occurrences, but they can happen. I always find it funny when there's games like that where the key or something that you need to get into something can also drop the exact same thing that you needed to get into it in the first place. And then you just get to do it again. I know RuneScape had a few instances like that. Where you'd have like a limited key or something to get in an area. And then the boss itself could literally just give you the key back. Along with a few other loots. And Gems of War has the same mechanic for Vault Keys. They're very rare when it happens, but it does happen. Yeah, there's very good chance. Some of this hasn't been confirmed. The only thing that's been confirmed 100% is that we'll have some amount of the new those what are they called? Books of Deeds in the pass, and the fact that we're also very likely to have another mythic in the pass. However, it is very likely that the next pass will have a epic vault key, those deed books that are new, a bunch of Imperial scrolls, and a mythic on top of whatever else they put in there. That is going to be a lot of big loot. Yeah, some of it's definitely going to be behind the Elite Pass Plus. I'm almost guaranteed they're going to put an epic vault key behind Elite Pass Plus, because there's already a vault key behind it, and it's probably a placeholder for when they were going to put an epic vault key there. And I'm pretty sure at least one of the deed books will be in the epic section, rather than the normal paid section. There's almost no way they wouldn't do that. But we have to wait and see. We won't know till 3 weeks from now. Because next week we have the knife. Or sorry, 4 weeks from now. Because next week we have the knife. And then we have the final week of the 10th. Then we have a week off. Then we'll have Tower of Doom then. And then we have the next campaign starting up the following week. So we still got a bit of time. October 5th is the date. October 5th should be the start of the Chapter 2 campaign. Or, the second campaign. Such a bad board. Okay, guys, still enough for full mana and an extra turn. I'm not expecting extra turn for that one. So a few explosions. At the one that has a higher chance of extra turning does an extra turn, go figure. The next legend from Event Keys is actually really good. It's gonna be a gnome, not a gnome, what's it called? A goblin. I forget exactly what its ability does, but it was actually not that bad. I believe it was early next month, like the first week of next month or something. I think it was like the 7th. No, 5th would be the Monday. But yeah, it's pretty soon. It's definitely within the next month. Yeah, it's already on Terran's World. It's I'll go show it real quick. Let me go find it. We showed it on stream once already. If I could spell. Okay. Troops. And it was this goblin thing. There it is. September 28th, so actually a week earlier than that. It's the week before the next campaign. So this is actually coming out the Tower of Doom week. And what it does is it's a legendary. It'll be in the event key drop table for the week of the 28th, which is basically 2 Mondays from now. Or 3 Mondays. Yeah, 3 Mondays from now. The 28th. You know what the 28th is. Anyways, it's a Goblin Giant. Oh, it counts as a Giant too? I didn't realize that. So you can actually half mana start this with Titan. That's interesting. So it gets to deal magic plus 6 damage to an enemy and knocks them to the back. Then it drains 7 mana from all enemies below them, which likely means you will be able to drain the entire enemy team of 7 mana if you target into first slot. We don't know if this will drain specifically what is the new first slot, though. And then it gets to gain an extra turn. That's quite a bit of value for what it does. Not just is it potentially a full AoE 7 drain, but it has auto extra turn, and it has a knockback on it, and it still has a damage poke. As far as its unique trait, it gets to bleed and silence the first enemy when he gets to deal skull damage. So he's basically a silent one in that regard, with a bleed on top of it. And he also has a little bit of a attack reduction or skull reduction. And he also gets to gain 1 attack when they cast a spell. However, that's pretty irrelevant. But yeah, it's not going to be like super meta, I don't feel like, but it's going to be an interesting utility troop. Has a potential because of the drag. It's going to kind of be like a rope dart without the high amount of damage, in a way. It's going to be kind of like an annoying rope dart that happens to have a silence attached to it, rather than an entangle, in a way, since he gets to do his silence off a skull. And it also has a mana drain. It's kind of like the anti-spell version of rope dart, in a way, is what this troop is going to be like. It doesn't get to do super high damage like a rope dart, but it'll have a mana drain. It'll still have the auto extra turn, and it'll have a silence. Though the silence is on skull, not off its ability. But, yeah, we'll see how it pans out. But that's the next legend coming to event queue drop table. Something that we have not had for a very long time. I think we've gone months without getting a legend on a Monday. I think that was mostly because they were waiting for the star level update. And now that it happens, they're pushing more troops again. But I think they kind of slowed it down a little bit because of the they wanted stars update to be out first. And now that it's finally out, they're probably going to start pushing more legend event keys again, which I used to do almost every month and then kind of stopped for a little while. But hopefully it gets turned back on. Yeah, the last one was Basilisk. Basilisk was like, what, 2-3 months ago? That was like ages ago at this point. Is the next mythic worth it? I don't know. I actually forget what it was. I know they reworked it some. Haven't read it recently. Where'd it go? Where is next mythic? Oh no, it was useless. Unless they changed it enough to make it not useless. Deal damage to all enemies, creates a bunch of yellow, boosted by blessed. No, it's still just a weaker version of Elamagrim. It's Elamagrim but weaker. It is quite literally Elamagrim but weaker. But yeah, next mythic is awful. Which is unfortunate because I believe it's a Dragon's Claw mythic too, isn't it? Yeah. RIP. Dragon's Claw does not get any good mythics. Unfortunate. But yeah, it's basically just an inverse Elamagrim. And Elamagrim is already underwhelming. And it's weaker than Elamagrim. But at that point, you might as well just use an Elamagrim, though. Because Elamagrim, all you need is burn. And you can 4 times burn so easily. Also, it's actually impossible to get a 4 times bless. Due to the order in which casting works, your cast removes your bless and then it checks for it. So even if you had your entire team blessed, you would only get a 3 times boost ratio, not a 4 times. Because it is impossible to get boost ratio off yourself for bless. Which makes it even worse. But yes, Bless, Submerge, and Enchant can never boost ratio off of itself due to the order in which the ability checks for the status effect. Because the status effect gets removed before the check occurs in all instances of those 3 things. whenever something has a boost ratio based on it. Assuming it's the thing that's casting that has the boost ratio. It's something that they might eventually fix. But as it currently stands, all effects that get removed when you cast, that boost ratio, that are required for the boost ratio when you cast, do not count towards the cast boost ratio. So for example, something like Emerald Tier, which requires enchants on your team, can only ever get a 3 times, never a 4 times, because it can't enchant off itself, even if you already had enchant on yourself, due to the order in which it checks. And that'll also be applicable to that mythic when it comes out as well. Who knows, maybe they'll fix it next patch. Not even sure if they know it's an issue. There's so many small things they need to fix. And they like never fix any of them, even when it's brought up to their attention. Yagway glitch still exists. That has literally existed as long as Yagway has existed. Every lifesteal in the game causes a lag glitch at the end of a battle, which ends up making it last about 2 seconds longer than it should. And every single thing with lifesteal on trait triggers it when it does the final kill off of it. And nothing has ever been done. And many others. I think one of the funnier ones are actually, have they ever fixed the chat one? Let's see. They might have. I don't remember doing it wrong. Oh, there we go. Nope, they haven't fixed the chat one. So we can play with a dim screen. This has existed since they did the new chat. There's a lot of small things like this. They're fun to mess around with. Where's the chat? And then that fixes it. The other pretty fun one to mess around with, which has existed ever since they had a new map, which I think is like 3 years now, is if you click on a different kingdom and then drag. Like right here, you can't normally drag the backgrounds. It gets locked. But they don't lock it quick enough, so you can actually drag the screen in between the loading thing, and then you can drag it. There's a lot of really small ones. The list is like so long I don't even know what they all are at this point. There's just so many. There's a lot of really small glitches like that in the game, but they add up. Where were we? Not the Vinny Fields. Go back to Govania. Their to-do list goes like 4 years back. There are still glitches that long back that they have not fixed. Most of them pretty minor, but some of them a bit more major than others. You can move the mouse. Oh, if you hold both buttons, it moves quicker. I never knew that. I just always use left click. I never bother using right click for anything. Is that a thing? Is that quicker? I can't even tell if that's quicker. That might be quicker. Yeah, it seems like it's a little quicker. I can't quite tell. That does seem slightly quicker. Hey, we got an Anu. Wait, you can get Anu off of 6? Well, apparently you can get Anu off of 6. That must be like as rare as a Nisha off of 12. I've never seen an Anu on 6. The biggest issue with Dragon's Claw is way too many full AoEs and too many dead content troops. That combination has made Dragon's Claw really underwhelming. Oh, is it that rare? Oh gosh. That's even rarer then. That's like ultra rare. That's like the equivalent of getting like 4 niches off of, no wonder I've never seen it before. Getting an annual off of 6 is like getting 4, 5, or 6 niches off of 12. It's that rare. If it's like getting a niche off of 9. But, wow, yeah. That's like 5 or 6 niches off of 12 is how rare an Anu is on 6. So hey, we got one good rare drop. Can we get an epic Valky now? I would much prefer that. I'll trade in my Anu for an epic Valky, please. Is there any way to see how many hours you have played on mobile? I am not aware. I know there's a way to check on Switch. I'm pretty sure Xbox and PS4 has a way. And obviously PC can check it through the Steam thingy. If I get off of here, I can see right there. Boom, we played for 12,340 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gems of War. I'll screenshot that one. I want the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 though. But I'm not sure what the method is on mobile. Where can you check achievements? Because I believe if you go into the app underneath the game thingy, where it's in the game store where it tracks the achievement, I think somewhere is on or near that page it might have the number of hours played. I'm not sure. I don't use the phone that often. And by a phone not that often, I mean like almost not at all. Not a big phone person personally. Yes, I am hoarding all of my vault keys in order to see what happens with Heart of Rage. That is correct. It's the reason why we haven't been spending our vault keys lately. And last time we did until we got Mech Gnome. Not Mech Gnome, I mean Damon Gnome. Yeah, no problem, Defiant. Yeah, we'll be streaming again in 7 hours from now. At our normal nightly stream. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we do every night. And we'll be going to stream for at least another hour or so. Oh, we'll go for Splosions. And then we get our nice big full AoE. If anyone still has any other questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. We'll make sure to do so. But yeah, technically, I have over already 1,200, 340. Gosh, I can't even say the number. 1,000. Oh, gosh, 12,345 hours. We technically already have over. Because if you count the mobile version and you count all the alt accounts that we had, and if you count the Switch version, if you count all these numbers, we're like already at like 14,000 or 15,000 hours played or something. But yeah, obviously that number only tracks this specific account, specifically on PC. I will not be getting a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever it's called, unfortunately. Or at least most likely won't be. Who knows? I don't know. I've never owned any Xbox console ever. And I've never owned any mainline PlayStation console. I've only ever owned a PlayStation 2 when PlayStation 4 was almost already out already. And it was mostly just for Guitar Hero, and that was about it. Because that was back when Guitar Hero was like really big. And the console was like nearly free. I don't know. I've only ever really done mostly PC and Nintendo gaming for the most part. Because in combination, almost everything gets ported eventually over to PC. Like very few exclusives don't. And I just always prefer Nintendo's exclusives normally, more often than not. I never actually played the drum games, because at the time I was literally playing percussion in bands and stuff. So I got to do it in real life, so I didn't really need a game for it. I could never really play a guitar in real life just because my fingers are kind of bad for it. But I have enough coordination from gaming to be able to at least do that game, if nothing else. Yeah, I've played almost every percussion instrument in existence at one point. I don't think there's a single percussion instrument I've actually not played. Except for like a few extremely foreign ones. But even some of those I've played. Like, I could probably get a list of, like, every percussion instrument in existence. And I've probably played 90% of them. At some point. Let's see, I'll throw that down. Oh, I'll throw that down. Also, I just realized we're at 5 keys. The way my stream's set up, I can't actually see that number on my screen. But that's funny, we're at 5. Let's change that. Next fall key we get, we're handing out code. So hopefully we'll get to change that soon. Because that will mean a code then. He really loves double minors today. Hello, Chad. Been doing pretty good. Bit luckier today. Still not the best of luck, but luckier than yesterday at least. Oops, I thought the green would go there, but I didn't see the other 3. Didn't realize that was a double 3. If it was a single 3, it would have went to extra turn, but oh well. Didn't notice on the other side. Did you miss much? Well, we got decently lucky earlier. Had a couple funny moments here and there. We've also been trying a different variant of this team. We've been basically running Phoenicia all day instead of Rowan. And we switched up a little bit to see how much better red-yellow is. People have been saying it's been better. It still seems rather similar to me, but it might be slightly better. I haven't really tried it for long enough. We've only been using it for like half an hour to an hour or so. We'll try it for the rest of today and tonight's stream. See how it goes. Give it more data. See if we'll stick with it or switch back. Feels pretty much the same to me personally. Did anyone get an epic? Someone did, but it was before the thing. I'm not sure if anyone has actually gotten it during this event on this stream. No one has said so yet. Anyone who said they got it on a previous event. But I haven't found anyone that got it yet this event. And obviously we haven't gotten one yet. Throw Phoenicia. You got 2 Volkies back to back, nice. We got pretty lucky earlier during the stream. We got 3 within an hour. Besides from that, it's been rather average luck the rest of the stream. But at least it's not below average luck. Like yesterday. Still can't believe that. We went like 3.5 hours with like 1 key. I do think it was closer to 3 hours, but still. It was very unlucky. I say 3.5 because the first half of the other stream we didn't get one. And the 1 key that we did get was like all the way at the beginning. So the gap was about 3.5 hours or so. If you connect the 2. That's way below drop rate. Realistically, you should be getting 1 Volky, you know, a natural Volky, every hour to hour and a half. Anything less than that is way below drop rate. Ideally, more towards 1 per hour. Anything less than that is like ever so slightly below drop rate. And I would definitely say anything below 1 every 90 minutes is definitely below drop rate. Hello, Watcher! Welcome! Also, I believe we're almost halfway to this pity key. As I mentioned, the next vault key we get, regardless by what means we get it by, will be a redeem code. Soon, TM. Will you give us the vault key? You will not. Let's see, how many more do we need for pity? Also, we got tributes. And that's probably not real mail. Nope, it is not. It's just all of our vault keys. The vault keys are real mail. Oh, we got 55-minute timer. Oh no, I can't check our pity timer. Oh no. Why did they not do a patch to fix that? I really hope next patch addresses that. Why on earth can you not check your pity timer when you have a pet? Why would you not put that underneath the menu? The vault key menu? That makes no sense whatsoever. I really hope they put that into the next patch. Because it doesn't make any sense why you can't check it. It is literally impossible while you have a pet active that you haven't done yet. And there's no way to check here. Like, at least add a question mark here to bring up a screen if you don't want to redo this menu. Like, put a question mark right there, click on it, boom, it tells you your progress on the thing. But currently there is no way to check what your current thing is unless you have no pet battle active. Or if you do have a pet battle active, you've already done the pet battle. But if you have a pet battle active that you have not done, it is impossible to check for the duration of the pet battle. Well, I think they did that because they kind of assumed most people would just go for the pet. But people in endgame really don't need to because like 80% of the pets that show up are generally ones they already have maxed. And they already have enough pet food that they don't necessarily need to go out of their way for more. Similar to how we don't necessarily do delves every single day. We barely ever touch them. It's because we already have such a surplus. The same thing kind of happens with pets, where you don't really touch them because you have such a surplus of it. Whenever you get copies of ones that you already have. Because the only other thing you would get is a small amount of shards, the color ones, and pet food. Both of which increasingly become less effective as you have more progress in the game. Oh, you got an epic Volkey today. Congrats. Very nice. Very, very nice. Drop was 36,000 gold, 25 chaos shards. Wait, how is it 25 chaos shards? Can you have a Daemon Gnome drop in it? 360 gems and 2 diamonds. Oh, so how did you get 360 gems? Okay, now I'm kind of confused. Oh, wait, never mind. 360 gems makes sense. Never mind. That one makes sense. How do you get 25 chaos shards, though? That one's I'm confused by. The 360 gems, or 360 makes sense. Because that's the 100 times 3 with 20%. That's not the super big gem drop, but the smaller gem drop off of the epic Volkey. But that's pretty good for a small drop. 360 gems. There is a bigger drop than that for his gem number. Assuming it's 3 times the other one, it would be very big number. Like almost 900 then. But a smaller one is 360, assuming you do it with 20%. Yeah, I believe the epic Volkey actually has a mythic border around it. Pretty sure it does. Because the way that it works is a gold key has a common border, a glory key has a rare border, a gem key has an ultra rare border, a VIP key has an epic border, a vault key has a legendary border, and I'm pretty sure the epic vault key has a mythic border. Even though it kind of makes sense I would have an epic border based on its name, but, you know, it's going up in rarity. Oh, there's always one Daemon Gnome? Oh, okay, that's why. That would explain why there is shards in it. Yeah, it makes loot worse if it's a Daemon Gnome rather than a normal gnome. They definitely overvalue Chaos Shards in this game for sure. Chaos Shards are worth so ridiculously little. Like 20 Chaos Shards is worth less than a gem key. Yet they value it at almost like 2 times or 3 times a gem key. I still don't understand why. But in many instances where they hand it out, they value it at like 2 or 3 times a gem key. Despite it being worse than a gem key. Because a gem key has a mythic chance, which is almost where all the value of a gem key comes from. Whereas a Chaos Shards can never give you a mythic. At least currently anyways. Though it's likely to stay that way. Lucky Cascade right there. Very lucky. And a gem key. Not the key we're looking for, though. But a key nonetheless. Still a good key. Oh, back-to-back gnomes. Do you want to drop a better key than your brother? Come on, Epic Volkey. Anything with the word key in it. Nope, 5 gems. Still a good drop, though. Just not the drop we're looking for. Imagine back-to-back epic Volkies. I'm pretty sure 0 people have ever done that so far. The chance is a decimal of a decimal of a decimal of a decimal. Like, that's rarer than lottery numbers right there. The chance that you would get 2 epic Volkies back-to-back, battle to battle. It's like trying to get 5 wins in a row in Fall Guys. I had 4 wins in a row and completely fumbled. I got so close to that achievement. I'm not sure why they made that achievement, because it literally just encourages people to hack even more. I think there's under 1,000 people who have it legitimately across all platforms for Fall Guys. And there's like multiple million of people who have downloaded it. And less than 1,000 have probably gotten it legitimately. We were 1 battle off from it. But didn't get it. Let's see, we'll throw that down. A mythic Cedric. We already have a mythic Cedric. It's called Cedric. He's basically Ferris Ra, just without the mythic border. We got a gnome. Are you a Volt-related gnome? Or a useless gnome? You are a useless gnome, I see. I was gotta go check how many Volkies we have to pity. Never mind, we can't. We can't for like another 40 minutes. With that pet over top of it. Unless we go do the pet real quick. However, we'd have to waste like 4 minutes to go do that. Just to see our timer. And that time we can get a whole gnome. Hello, Pinrose. Welcome. When is the Carandera guy coming around in chest drop table? We don't have a definitive date, but it should be about 3 to 4 weeks after the campaign ends. Which, based on this current moment in time, means like 7 or so weeks from now. The official date has not been really announced, though. They just said like a few weeks after campaign. But it never gave like exactly what date that would be. These few could be 3, 4, 5. But I will let you guys know once we have info on that definitively. But as it stands, we don't have like a definitive date on it. The most likely time is 3 to 4 weeks after the campaign ends. And campaign ends in 3 weeks. Bethesda has been in so much controversy lately. Well, not as much this year, though. But last year and the year before, gosh. Also, I'm not sure if Gems of War team has Infinity Plus 2 has ever made a card-related game. They've mostly done RPGs and match 3 games. And while this kind of has somewhat of a card element to it, they've never really specifically made like a card game before. Or, you know, like a traditional kind of card game. We're currently in Golvania, so we can one-shot with Phoenicia, because we're running Phoenicia build right now. Just to kind of test it out, to switch it up for once. It also gives double the amount of trophies. A decent amount of gold. I think we're hitting like 1,250 average per battle. And slightly better trait zones. So much so, we even got an Anu from one of the battles. Which is about as rare as getting 6 niches from Explore 12. It is nearly impossible to get an Anu from difficulty 6, but we actually got one today. Yeah, we can't get an Epic Volky. But we could somehow get an Anu off of 6. Yeah, our trophies must be pretty high after doing this method. We are at 2,310, yeah, pretty high. Only one person in the guild higher. Because we're basically getting double the amount of trophies we normally would be getting. And SPH is the only one higher than us. It's also a pretty similar level. But anyways. Also, I should donate some more gold. Some people have been doing a lot of gold this week on my guild. Let me see, what are the numbers up to? Yeah, let me go do another 1,000,000. Might as well. Plus, we're going to be farming a bunch this weekend anyways. So we're going to have more gold than normal. See what we get from it. Anything good? Oh, we got Summer Imp. Nice. Well, if anyone in my guild needs a Summer Imp, there you go. Enjoy. He's out of season as well. Currently, it's Autumn Imp in drop table. Summer Imp was last month. Or not last month, but it's Summer Imp runs from July and June. Autumn Imp is currently right now in August and September. Yeah, September. And next month is Spooky Imp for October and November. Then it goes Winter Imp, so on and so forth, cycling through them all. But there we go. Hopefully someone in my guild needed one. Anyways, where were we? Golvania. Did I need anything else? No, just our Volkies. All of our Volkies. But yeah, it is actually possible to get the imps out of season. There's 2 ways to do so. One of them you just saw. You can get off a legendary task. The other way that you can get the imps out of season is they can show up in Soulforge. It's very rare that legends rotate when you want them to. However, it is possible to get the seasonal imps out of season in Soulforge. But generally how the imps work is you can only get them in a drop table for 2 specific months. But they are in legendary tasks, and they do show up in Soulforge. So it is possible to get them out of season. They're not relevant, though. All of them except Winter Imp are completely useless in the current state of the game, and Winter Imp's pretty underwhelming. Though it's the only somewhat usable one, at least currently. Unless they get buffed again. They already got buffed to kind of try to make them viable, and Winter Imp benefited the most of it because they get true damage rather than physical. And obviously it gains the most because it was just a damage buff to them. However, overall, it's they're still pretty underwhelming. Is there a way to slow the drop rate of legendary troops and others to get a better chance at mythics? No. There is no way to do such a thing. Another badge. That's one nice other thing about doing a higher level explorer. Slightly higher shards. We're getting about 20 myth stones each time. 18 to 21. So it's like a 19-20 average. 19.5 average, technically. It's almost 20. You might as well say 20 at that point. Which means about every 5 explorers we should be hitting a vault. Or not a vault, a chest, I mean. Whereas before it was taking quite a bit longer. And the ones that we do get are slightly higher rarity. I believe it's also a slightly higher chance that we get 2 instead of 1. Which is good for our progress on it, of course. If anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Our next Volky drop will hand out code. Though it was taking longer than I thought, those 3 objectives that I set up near the beginning of the stream. Because we originally set up getting 3 random vault keys, or up to 6 pity, or up to just a single epic vault key. Oh, we haven't hit any of them yet. And it was 3 after we got the first one, so regardless, it would be basically one of those numbers hitting 6 is what it would be at. Neither of them want to hit it, though, seemingly. Come on, where are all those gnomes at? But I believe we're still a little bit away on pity. Might go do the pet just to check after we get another gnome or 2. Oh, I should take... Oh, never mind. Yeah, that was actually better to do. Okay, the move we did was right. I was going to say going for that 4 times for that little bit extra mana, but it would have just been a waste. Would have been a waste. That one's not, though. Nice. 5 times yellow and 5 times green is the most ideal. Allows us to quick kill like a Ruane. So those are the only two options we could do it on. 5 times yellow, 5 times green. 4 times will not be enough given her higher mana cost. Nope, no Volky. Not a gnome though. They're hiding very well today. Not as well as yesterday, but still hiding on us. Good morning, Gamora. Welcome. Roosters can be very annoying in the morning. I used to annoy my neighbors because when I was a kid, I would make my rooster like alarm, like in the middle of the day or really early in the morning, like even before it normally would, because I would get up early for school, sometimes as early as like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and I would wake up the rooster. And you can mimic its sound to make it do its noise whenever. I was pretty good at doing it. I can't really mimic it right now, though. When my voice was lower, it was a lot easier, too. Kind of hard with a deeper voice. Also, it would probably shatter anyone. Hey, we got a Volky! Time to give out a redeem code. Plus, it would probably shatter anyone using headphones ears if I tried mimicking the sound right now. Because it's very loud. Let's see. There we go. Nice. Okay. It is redeem code time. I said when we get that third Volky after that first one. And that is the third one then. Four total this stream. But the third after we end up mentioning that. So there we go. Let me go update the number. Where on earth's the number? There it is. Let's see. Okay, let's go update that number. And now let's go hand out a redeem code. Let me figure out where it is. Figure out which one we need. It is buried somewheres. It's buried somewheres in the somewheres. I believe it's right over here. Copy this. Put this over here. Put that over there. That's not where you use it. Where's the redeem code section? Put that over there. Put that over there. Put that over there. Put that over there. That's... Oh, we used that code already. Okay. Let's try this again. This one we definitely haven't used. It starts with J. I know for sure we haven't given out a J code yet. At least not recently, obviously. At some point we probably did. But here you guys go. Here's the redeem code you use on gemsofwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says in the bottom left corner is what you put in for your invite code. Redeem code's right over there in chat. Just copy paste the random numbers and letters starting with Junior or the JR right there. And it's usable on every platform. It's only usable on PC mobile. And it gives the same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. There you guys go. Enjoy. It's basically 2 gnome drops right there. Or technically 3 if you break down the souls. There's 1 gnome drop, which is quite literally a normal gnome drop. 2 gnome drops, and 3 gnome drops. Technically 100 souls is 1 off the normal gnome. Treasure maps aren't 1, but they're pretty useless. Unless you're a newer player. In which case they're actually pretty useful because you might not have like thousands of them. Gosh, how many maps do we have right now? We are currently sitting on 22,350 maps. That is a lot of maps. This guy has 32 more minutes, so we're not checking that anytime soon. But I think we're about halfway to the next pity key. I'm not even sure. Not even sure. Oh, so hello, Rummerford. Are we still streaming tonight? Yes. Fridays, we always stream at this time, around the morning time to evening time. And normally for about 3 hours or so. And on Saturdays when we have Vault events, we also do. Oh, another Volky? We just got back-to-back Volky. Will this be our first ever triple? I've gotten back-to-back multiple times. I have never gotten a triple, though. Come on, triple. Come on, let's see a gnome. I want to see that triple. Our first ever triple. Go. No. Well, we might have a triple, but desynced. We might have a desynced triple. Yeah, that's like my billionth time I've gotten 2 exactly in a row. I've never gotten 3 in a row, though. But this might be a desynced triple. If the next gnome gives a Volky. I'm not even sure if I've gotten a desynced triple. I think I might have before. I've definitely gotten non-desynced doubles before, like we just did. Come on, gnome. Let's get our triple. Don't ruin our streak now. Yeah, much better luck than yesterday, gosh. Yeah, I know, it's been ages since we handed out codes. We only started like a couple days ago again. But it should be a regular thing going forward again. Oh, I got a treasure map. How useful. From that battle from a big cascade. I'm really hoping to get to the treasure hunt rework that's actually decent. Another double token, which honestly is what we're aiming for. It almost doesn't even matter what the rarities are, as long as we get a double. Because we're already going to be getting relatively low rarity ones. The chance of getting an Anu is so absurdly low that I'm actually exceedingly surprised we actually got one. Let's see. Let's see, we'll throw Phoenicia down. There we go. And we swipe it again, be good to go. Please let me cast. Please let me cast. There we go. I feel like they're gonna add a epic map. Kind of like how they have epic Volkies. Like, they're almost guaranteed gonna add another map type to the game. How exactly it'll buff normal maps, I'm not sure. But, they're almost guarantee adding a new map type to the game. Similar how to there's 2 Volkies, there's gonna be 2 maps. There's like a 95% chance it's gonna happen. Like, I'd be very doubtful if that doesn't happen. How exactly they go about the 2 maps, I have no clue. But the chance of us actually having 2 different map types is exceedingly high. Also, it'd be funny if you find a map within a map. Like, if the normal maps, one of the biggest rewards is actually getting the better map. Would be kind of funny. But yeah, they could do it any number of ways. But there's almost 100% chance they're adding another map type. Just because there's too many normal maps in the game to not add another map type. Like, the average endgame player has way over 10,000 maps. I wouldn't be surprised if some people have 6-digit maps. I'm currently at 5 digits. We already posted the code, though. It's right there. We posted it like 5 minutes ago. Should still be good. Given how slowly it's been going these days, should last the rest of the stream as well. Because a lot of people don't realize we're handing out codes again. So they're going down a lot slower than normal. Normally they go in like 10 minutes or less. Lately it's been taking like an hour, sometimes even after the stream. Hello, Dark Savage. Welcome. Let's still make sure to use it as early as possible, because you never know when it will run out of claims. Let's see. Oh gosh, 1 mana short? I hate that. There's no worse feeling. Hello, Higuri. Welcome. That's probably like the worst feeling in this game, especially if it's like a Guild War situation, and having 1 mana would have been the difference between winning and losing, and you're 1 mana short. That's probably the worst feeling in the entire game. 1 mana short in a Guild War battle where having that 1 mana would have been the difference between winning and losing. I'll throw it down. Get our Phoenicia follow-up. I still can't believe how lucky we got this last hour. Even just all of today. Our middle hour wasn't as lucky. But gosh, was the first and third hour lucky. Because hello, Corey G. Welcome. Actually, that's not true. We theoretically got the Anu on the second hour. Which is about as rare as getting an Epic Volkey. Unfortunately, it wasn't the Epic Volkey itself. But an Anu on 6 is absurdly low. Actually, I want to go find a percent for it, because if I say what the percent is, it'll seem a lot more amazing. Because just saying that's a rare doesn't really justify how ridiculously low that percent chance is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Token drop rate. Please find it immediately. Actually, I can show it on screen. Why am I doing it that way? I'll show it on screen. gemsofwar.com forums. Loading. Token drop rate. I believe it's the first one. And the drop rate of getting an Anu on difficulty 6 is a 0.01% chance. There it is. It's the lowest level you can get an Anu on. It is a 0.01% chance. And if you count like the fact that you could get it off of either of the medals, it's a 0.014% chance. To put that into perspective, the chance of getting a Nisha off a 12 is 0.050, and for the previous number, a 0.02. Meaning it is upwards of 3 times rarer than getting a Nisha on, it's like 3 to 4 times rarer, depending on how you look at it, than getting a Nisha on a, well, I would say overall about 3 times then. But yeah, it's about 3 times rarer than getting a Nisha off of 12 is the chance of getting a single legend off of 6. That is very, very, very low. But yeah, that's a percent chance. We actually hit it today. Go figure. Go figure. Oh, is it 1% chance? Oh, my bad. I didn't realize the table was written in a way where it wasn't converted to a thingy yet. Or was written like that. Still low. Still low nonetheless. But yeah, the thing isn't converted to percent yet. So yeah, that is a 1%. Yeah, it is rather weird that the way that it's written then. Because it's basically written out of 1, where 1 is 100%. Where 1.0 would be 100% when it's written on that graph. So yeah, never mind. It's a 1% chance, but still, that's exceedingly low. Given how little you rotate around, the actual chances of getting anything from this. It's actually the second lowest of an instance you could ever have a token. The absolute lowest would be a 0.5% chance on Explore 9 for Anisha. It is the second lowest chance of ever getting a single rarity of a token within a drop. With Anu being the lowest at 1% at 6, and Nisha being the lowest at 0.5% on 9. It's also the reason why you always farm for Nishas on 12, because the chance is way higher on 12 than it is on 9. I think it's like 6 times higher or something. Not to mention you cycle through a lot more tokens. Can you get Daemon Gnome from regular Vault Keys? Yes, and we did. It took us like 20 Vault Keys or so. We did it last Vault event. But yes, the Daemon Gnome is indeed in the normal Vault Key drop table. I know for sure because that's how we got it. We did that last Vault event weekend. And I'm hoarding my current Vault Keys for until we figure out what on earth is happening with Heart of Rage. Until we have some more definitive information on it. Oh, so why did I take that? We already had the win. Rather than just speculation. Because we still don't know exactly how that's going down. As far as how it's used in a crafting material, if it gets consumed, when exactly it'll be available. If it's just going to share a drop table with Cedric or be slightly different. We don't know. But the most likely way is it's going to be a few weeks after campaigns. We don't know if it's going to be consumed or not. However, it'll likely be a few weeks after campaigns. And it'll likely share a drop table with Cedric. In the sense that, similar to how all the commons within the Vault Key share the same drop table, Cedric and Heart of Rage and any future legends would all share the legendary thing, which would theoretically make Cedric less harder to get. However, it would put all the other legends on top of that similar drop table cycle. Because I'm pretty sure how it would go down. Let's still gotta wait and see. Is there a way to have the current game you're playing on PC to play on mobile as well? Yes. There's a mobile version of Gems of War. Unless you mean literally screen capturing it over to phone, which I'm not sure if there's a way to do that. But there's literally a mobile version, so you can just download that and link your account. Though if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Gems of War is supported by it, though. There is some kind of third-party thing that is starting to make it possible where you can, like, stream your Steam games to other things, like to your TV or to your phone and stuff like that. I'm not sure if Gems of War is supported for that, and the only reason you might want to do that is if you want your playtime to all be underneath your PC version, rather, or, you know, on Steam, rather than specifically on the phone. That way, if you trigger any achievements, it would still happen as well. I don't think Gems of War is currently supported by that. Very few games currently are. I forget what third-party program is doing that, but it's probably going to become better after a couple months. It's still rather early access. I completely forget what it's called, though. Let's see, we'll throw that down. But yeah, there's a mobile version, so you could literally just link it to that. Yeah, Navita something is what it's called. I don't think Gems of War is currently supported by it, though. At least not yet. Is there an orb gnome? No. The only orb gnome there theoretically is Cedric. He's obviously not actually an orb gnome. However, his drop rate of giving orbs is relatively high. But no, there's no specific orb gnome, unfortunately. That'd be very, very powerful if there ever was. But Cedric kind of is. Like, 1/3 of his drop table, if not half, is orbs. He has a really high chance of giving you an orb. However, of course, Cedric is only found in Volkies and Epic Volkies. So he's not a random gnome that can appear. It would be interesting if we eventually get different big troops in Volkies, though. Like, currently the only one that exists is, of course, Cedric, or the Epic Cedric, or whatever it's called in the other version. I'm not sure because we never had a Volkie, or an Epic Volkie, I mean. But it'd be kind of interesting if they had different versions of it that could have a different loot table. Because obviously something like a orb gnome would probably never be a random drop like this guy. It would just be too powerful. And even if they were to ever make it, they would make it so green orbs, small greens, and big greens would be so common to the point where the chance of you getting a random orb or a blue or something would be so ridiculously near zero. Even if they added an orb gnome. Like, almost every time you'd just be basically getting souls from it by giving it green orbs. If they were to ever add it. Because no way would they make it a high drop rate for random orbs, nor for blue or purple. Oh yeah, if you just want to link your account, yeah, you can do that through phone. You just download Gems of War in the App Store. You link your account, make sure that you already have it verified on PC, and then just use that information to go link it to mobile. Like, as soon as you open up the game on mobile, it'll ask you, hey, do you already have an account? And then you just say yes, and then you just put in the link information, and then boom, you just got your account also on mobile. Though you can't play both simultaneously. You can only play the, or, you know, in the sense that you can't have them both running at the same time. They can still have them linked to both at the same time. You just can't have them both simultaneously running. Or you could try, but it'll have a lot of desyncs because they don't want people making progress on both things at once. Because that was a really big issue towards the beginning of the game. Some people would play on like 5 different devices because they would save the progress of all 5. That's not possible anymore, though. And I never did that, obviously. Apparently, based on what someone said, it seems like an epic gnome is in every... I mean, a Daemon gnome is in every epic Volkie. For whatever reason. I'm not sure why. Seems rather pointless. Because a normal gnome has better loot. Well, it would make sense if it was a glory gnome. Because at least that thing has slightly better loot. Especially if that glory gnome got a 20% boost from the thing. But no, it's just a random Daemon gnome. For no reason. Oh, we actually got a 5 times for once. That's really rare with Phoenicia. That's the only thing I miss about playing Rowan instead. Is you can actually 5 times on and 4 times on so much more, where she can only 5 times on 2 things. Very rare is the board set up for it. So much so that even if it is set up, you normally almost just ignore it out of habit of needing to do Leprechaun almost every time. Let's see. Take that over. Get our Phoenicia down. Also, if anyone hasn't claimed the code yet, make sure to do so. Anyone who's been getting here a little bit later. It's probably still active, which is why I mentioned that. Also, if anyone hasn't claimed it yet, let me know if it actually is still working. I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. They've been going pretty slow lately. But at least that makes it so people who gets here later will be able to use it. Anything good from this one? No. Gosh, he's been dropping so many thousand souls. Still better than the pitiful 100 souls off the normal gnome, but still his worst drop. His drop table is 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, and of course the 2 Volkies. As far as unique, it's 1,000, 2,500, and 5,000, which I find kind of funny, because one of Cedric drops is actually a 2,500 soul drop, and that's kind of like the mid-range of a soul gnome. It's really bad whenever he drops it, because it's such a horrible drop, especially if you compare it to soul gnome, since that's the mid-range drop on soul gnome. It should be at least like 10,000 souls. That's enough for the first epic level of a, or elite level of a troop. Oh yeah, it does only work on PC Mobile. Unfortunately. Oh good, another gnome. We should be pretty close to that pity key, and I believe in about 10 minutes from now we can actually check. We haven't been able to because we've been pet blocked this entire time. We should be. Oh, a Volky! Nice. Unfortunately, still not that epic Volky. But I'll take it. 8-5. Very nice. Oh, another gnome already. Nice. Oh, so we never did get that Desync 3, by the way. The other drop we got at the time wasn't a Volky. I kind of stopped paying attention to that for a little while because it took us so long to get the follow-up gnome. But it wasn't one. I keep forgetting that's 1 mana short. I'm so used to every 5 times just being full mana for sure in that context. But, yep, we don't have enough mana. Without the hero, it's 2 short, and with the hero, it's 1 mana short. Oh, code dead already. Okay, so it's starting to pick up on speed and dying. Because that was like, what, 30 minutes or less? Oh no. We're starting to creep closer to the 10-minute death of the code. Ever so slowly. But yeah, give it about another week or two. It's going to go down in like 10 minutes. So definitely make sure to claim it whenever we do post it. Any of you that do want them. And of course we can one out every stream. Which includes our next one in 6 hours from now. At 8 PM Eastern Standard Time. And normally we hand it out about mid-stream or so. Sometimes earlier, sometimes later. Depends what condition we give it out by. But we always hand out one, though. Even if we don't make the condition, we'll just, like, hand it out by the end. It's like, oh, here we go. We always have at least one. Or normally only one. Hey, 5,000 souls. At least it's not giving 1,000. We need those souls, actually. We've been upgrading so many elite levels lately. That put a little bit of a dent into our soul count. Gotta be careful. If we farm enough tokens, we will eventually run out of souls. We're far from that, obviously. But, it's gonna happen eventually. Because we're at, like, what? How many souls right now? We're at 7.5 million. And that might seem like a lot. But that can go down pretty quick. Also, our we finally got that pity key. So I guess we don't even need to see how many we need to our next pity key because, well, we already hit it. There we go. We're at 14 keys. Not bad. And what was it last time? Last time it was, I want to go bring it up. Last time we had 18 plus 8. And right now we're at 8 plus 6. So we need 10 more for the first number and 2 more for the other number to match last Vault event weekends. We're getting there. I feel like the first number is going to be lower. The other number should be the same, though. But, I feel like the first one's going to be a bit lower. Just because we got a bit over drop rate last time. And we're definitely still a bit under drop rate, even though we're at 8. Actually, no. Actually, 8. 8 kind of made us catch up on drop rate, didn't it? Never mind. We might have had a really bad day yesterday. But today did good enough that we're basically at drop rate now. For Vault keys. Because we're essentially at 1 per hour at this point. Pretty much. Oh, so how's our total game time going? Oh, that's not what I wanted to say. 4 more hours! And we will be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Though we won't be doing that all this stream, obviously. Probably going for another 20-ish minutes or so. 20, 30 minutes. Probably stop around on the next hour or so. Or, you know, on the hour. Grab lunch, dinner, go from there. And if any of you guys still have any questions, do let me know. Make sure to go over them all. Otherwise, we'll answer them tonight or at any time. We're always around every day. What's the biggest code reward? Well, we already used up, I believe, all of our really big codes. But generally, every code is 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. The devs sometimes give out bigger codes, but I generally don't have access to giving out bigger codes. Normally, if we need to give out a big code for an occasion, we just have to give out like 2 smaller codes or 3 smaller codes. Let's see. I'll take that over. Get a Phoenicia down. Oh, so that's a weird glitch that still keeps happening too. If you spam click quick enough, you can actually hit the board behind the menu. I don't think you could ever phase into those battles though. But visually the screen still shows up. We're probably gonna hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 today. Because I'm probably gonna be playing a little bit off stream. So we should probably hit it by tonight. Either on tonight's stream or a little bit prior. But I'm pretty sure today we will hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's only less than 4 hours off. At this point. And we're going to be playing for an hour or 2 tonight. And I might play for about an hour or 2 between the stream. We'll see. And of course, I'll keep track of any Vault keys we get during that time if we do. Also, the goal ideally is also still to hit level 1,585 by the end of this weekend. We're pretty close. We're more than halfway to the next level. Which means after that we don't need 2 levels more. Between today and tomorrow, I think we should hopefully be able to reach that. Because my goal at this point is by the end of October, ideally, to have what's it called? By the end of October, to have 1,600 hero class, so that we get the extra stat, which should be very much doable. We'll have only 1 Vault event between that time. The October Vault event. We don't know exactly when that falls, but it's very likely to be late October. Probably the weekend before Halloween. Though it could potentially fall on Halloween weekend. Actually, does Halloween even fall on a weekend this year? It does. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the weekend before Halloween weekend, though. But there is a small chance it could actually fall on Halloween weekend. Also, what are they going to do for Tower of Doom? They always do the Halloween Tower of Doom. And now Tower of Doom won't be around unless they're going to do a special Tower of Doom event. Oh! Maybe that's when they wanted to add a midweek Tower of Doom event. If a holiday ever falls around. Ah! Hold up. We might get info on that next patch. We might have a Tower of Doom event the weekend of Halloween. I didn't think about that. We don't have confirmation on that yet, but that would make a lot of sense. Because they always do, like, festive towers for Tower of Doom. And what better way to add, like, an extra Tower of Doom than to do that for holidays? Because they already have the October one. They already have one for Halloween. They have one for Christmas time. They have one for Easter. They have one for Valentine's Day, I think. Who knows? Maybe they'll add more. But that might be when they end up doing those random Tower of Dooms between the... I didn't think of that until just now. But those random Tower of Dooms between events where they have it on a weekend event, it might be for holiday stuff. So we'll actually probably know that info after next patch once the files get updated. Oh, that'd be really interesting to see. And if not, someone should go tell them that. Because that would make too much sense. 1,000 souls. Does a gem mastery surge, if it doesn't get shown in the preview thing after next patch, or once we have the data for it, I'm probably gonna tell them. That seems like something they would do, though. Anyways, let's see. There's a question. Is there a limit on how many diamonds that can be crafted? And what is the current rate of them? I'm not sure what you mean by your first question. The current rate of them, generally it's 20 per day. You can get 80 on, or 70 on Sunday. And those are all the free ones. On top of that, you can get additional 20 by spending 50 gems each day. And you get additional 80 specifically on Sunday by spending 50 gems on Sundays, which is always worth it. Other than that, you can get 150 per week from your guild off of normal tasks. You can also get them... Is there one on epic tasks? I actually forget if there's any diamonds on epic tasks. And there's a few scattered around through various events. And other than that, you can farm infinite technically off of gnome events. However, the rate of farming them off of gnome events is anywhere from like 4 to 10 per hour or so, which is pretty low. However, the normal gnome can drop 2 and 5. The droll gnome very rarely can drop like 10 and 20. I think he even has a super ultra rare 50 I've actually never seen. And it's because it's way too rare on it. You normally get more from the normal gnome than the droll gnome as far as diamonds are concerned. And Cedric also has a 50 diamond drop, which is not too rare. Like if you open 10 vault keys, like probably 1 or 2 of them would have the 50 drop. There's not too many ways to farm them other than just do the daily dungeons and spending gems on daily dungeons if you want to try pushing it more. Also, technically you could buy them for gems off your daily offer as well, assuming it's on your daily offer, though those are exceedingly expensive doing it that way. You're better off just spending 50 gems each day doing it if you're bothering doing that. While doing the vault event, is it better to use the Medal of Guard or Seasons? Well, it depends on your team. If you're using like a Rowan, you'd want to use 3 guards. If you're using something like a Phoenicia build, you want to run magic. But normally it's 3 guards or 3 Nishas, depending on the team that you're running. And then assuming it's Rowan, you definitely want to run 3 guards, because that's 24 armor, which is 48 damage. And in the case of like a Phoenicia build, it's 12 magic, which is 24 damage to every single enemy, which theoretically is actually 96 damage, because you're doing it to each individual enemy, which is technically double the value of Rowan in that sense. Speaking of diamonds, you have 8,000 of them, and you're wondering, is it still worth having 2 Ketris or Tina? Should you craft a second one? Ketris maybe. Tina probably not. Even Ketris maybe. The only time I ever use double Ketris, like I don't think I ever use double Tina in the current state of the game. The only time I currently use double Ketris, though it's probably better to go for a different mythic they actually need for a kingdom upgrade. But the only time I ever bring out double Ketris is for Tower of Doom. Particularly like green Tower of Doom and a few other colors. Particularly green. I feel like green works out the best. But I don't know, it's not necessarily worth it. Definitely don't get another Tina. But I would just focus on things that you actually need. I'm not sure how many more mythics you still need to have a mythic evolve them, but I'd probably focus on trying to get one of every mythic with those diamonds, assuming you're somewhat close to having them all. Which I assume so if you're thinking about getting a second copy of some. But, yeah, I would hold off. I feel like in the current state of the game, it's almost not worth trying to get a second copy of any mythic, not even Fair Shra. If you happen to get it from a random drop, then you just happen to get it. But going out of your way for a second mythic, I don't feel like is currently worth it in any instance. Even if a mythic is good with 2 copies. Because it's much better for your overall progress in the game if you get unique mythics to push kingdoms forward. Because that will give you bonus stats for every battle you ever do. Which is more important than having a slightly better team for some occasions. Also, in case any mythic ever randomly becomes meta, you'd also have them at that point. If you spread it out a bit more. It's very rare that that happens, but they have mentioned that they're going to be doing a rebalance patch at some point. And who knows, maybe they'll make a bunch of mythics not useless when they do that. Never know. Oh, we got another pet. Which means we could have seen our thing for some short amount of time. Not anymore! I think I already have that pet max. Let me go double check. Yes. Always like double checking because I sometimes overly assume I have something maxed already, and then I find out like months later it's like, oh, we haven't had this max this entire time. And it's been like a few copies short. Has happened several times now. Which is why I always check them even if I think I have them maxed. Even if I know for sure, sometimes I'll still check. You never know. Gargantar shrugs. Hey, he's not the worst mythic in the game anymore. Shade of Zorn helped him out. He's not even the worst mythic in Gargantar anymore. Because Shade of Zorn wanted to take that role from him. I still find it kind of funny that the 2 worst mythics in the entire game are from the same kingdom, though. I'm not sure why they feel the need to make Groshnok so useless. The kingdom of Groshnok. I'm pretty sure there were 0 viable options there. And Drake Rider is just super annoying. But anyways, anyone else have any other questions? Do let me know. Otherwise, we'll probably wrap up after this next set. And then we'll be back in 6 hours from now for our normal 8 PM Eastern Standard Time stream as we do every night. And we'll have another code then as well. And obviously we'll be continuing our grind. And we'll also do the World Lore event. We still got to do a little bit more towards that. Open our orbs. Hopefully we'll get something good. But yeah, so far the stream was pretty successful then. We got a ultra rare Anu. Off of the lowest possible area you could ever get an Anu. And we also got a 5 Volkeys. Or sorry, 6 Volkeys. Plus all the pities that we got along the way. And of course we'll continue to farm throughout the weekends. Because the event's not over yet. You still got basically a day and a half left. Actually, I believe you have exactly a day and a half left. You should have 1 day and 13 hours left. That's his exact moment in time. So, still a bit of time. Yeah, as soon as we finish out the set, call it a wrap for now. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but they love adding Daemon counters to the game. Daemon's counters kind of made sense when Daemons were actually meta. In the current state of the game, they are very bad, though. Like, very, very bad. Like, aside from a Gorgotha occasionally, like, most Daemons aren't really used, and a few, like, mythic ones that are half decent. The biggest issue Daemons have is they don't have half-mana start. If we ever get a half-mana start Daemon, they could have a lot of potential. Like, even Divine has 40%. Which was actually nerfed from 50% because it was just so strong at the time. I do feel like they could move it back to 50% without it being unbalanced, though, at this point. Is there a max percentage for Mana Surge with Gem Masteries? It used to be 100%. However, a couple months after the game launched, they nerfed it down to 73%. However, the amount of numbers you would need to actually reach 73% is pretty much impossible. So realistically, the max surge you can ever have is around 69 to 70% in the current state of the game. It moves towards 73% in the current state of the game. However, it is not possible to get a high enough mastery for it to reach 73%. Since you technically need infinite, and to reach 72, you need like millions or something. But yeah, I believe 69% or 70% is the highest surge chance currently possible. And I believe we have like a 68 or 69% surge on purple right now with our mastery. Every single possible purple we could have done, we put into purple. I mean, every single mastery we could have done, we did into purple. Which currently leaves our mastery at, oh, yes, that's 67% right now. But I believe realistically 69 is the highest percent you could actually get in the current state of the game. Maybe 68%. So far, every single purple level we ever could have potentially done has gone specifically into purple for every mastery level up. And it has brought us to a 67%, which is a 67 point something percent. I could put it into the formula, but I don't want to go dig up the formula. There's a formula that determines this, which is public. They end up posting it when they end up changing it about a couple months into the game. And it's stayed like that since. They haven't changed it since. But anyways, yeah, realistically 68% or 69% is the highest surge chance you could ever have for a single color. And if you keep them all even, the highest you can ever have, I believe, is 67 or 68% chance. Or somewhere around there. Let's see. Is there a legendary troop that can compare with Zugoff? Depends what role you're looking for. Lord of Slaughter comes pretty close. There's also that one weird one that's kind of like a mini Zugoff, but not exactly Zugoff. Uminif's kind of like a mini Zugoff in a way. It's not exactly Zugoff, but it has one of its secondary effects. And the other closest thing is Lord of Slaughter. However, there's no one-to-one equivalent to Zugoff. Also, technically, Iron Gut can be considered like a Zugoff in the sense that it has its instant kill. But Iron Gut, Uminif, or Lord of Slaughter are the three closest troops to Zugoff without actually being Zugoff. However, they're not the same as Zugoff, and Zugoff is generally better than all three, depending on the situation. The Iron Gut can still be better in some situations, and also Lord of Slaughter can be better than in some instances. Uminif's just an overall weaker version of it, I would say. However, it's much easier to obtain than a Zugoff, since it's just as hard as any other mythic to get, which is way easier than Zugoff. What was the other question? I think there are a few other questions. Any other questions, let me know. Let's see. Or in Legendary that can ultimate one-shot. The only thing with one-shot that has consistency is unfortunately a mythic, and it's Iron Gut. Iron Gut's the closest thing to that. Let's see. Can you confirm that you can get an Epic Volkey from a Volk battle? Yes. Well, I can't confirm it. I've never actually had it happen. But it should be possible, yes. Because you can get a Volkey, and they share the same drop table. Just so Epic Volkey is much rarer. So, yes, it should be possible to get a Epic Volkey from a Volkey. I've never seen it, but it should be possible, and people have mentioned that they have. But based on the fact that we have seen a Volkey drop there, and they share the same table, it should definitely be possible to get an Epic Volkey from a Volkey. The chance of it happening is exceedingly rare, so don't expect it, though. But yes, it should technically be possible, though extremely, extremely rare. Let's see. Current Era is actually not currently obtainable, Analyst. It won't be till another week if you have the bigger pass, or 2 weeks if you have the normal pass, or like 5 weeks if you're playing free to play. I answered that. I think that's all the questions. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll be back 6 hours from now, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot. We'll have another code later today, and obviously we'll be continuing the farming. Anyways, guys, best of luck with the Vault event. As I mentioned, you still got 1 day and 13 hours, I believe. Yeah, pretty much, to go farm up the Vault event. So definitely make sure to go get on that. as loot is very high for doing so. Even if you're barely getting any vault keys, you're at least getting pity keys, and you're still getting the normal gnome drops like glory, souls, all the little knick-knack stuff, which definitely adds up over time. And yeah, pretty good resources. Definitely a great time to grind. You can literally grind like more resources on these 3 days during the vault event than like the rest of the month combined, as far as you know, like actual grinding within a battle. Not counting like, you know, weekly event stuff, bounty hunter stuff like that. But if you just count like as a result of battle stuff, gnome event gives you like more than pretty much the rest of the time combined, is because of the drastically higher rate they end up having for the duration. So great time to go farming. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there, and I will catch you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.